And I think we're live. Let's make sure. Let's go to the chat. Chat, how's it going? I want to refresh this because I know it takes a few seconds for it to kick off, and I want to make sure that we are actually live. Chat, as you could tell, I know I got some feedback that my face was getting cut off, so I put a green screen back here now, except it doesn't actually give me a green screen effect, which is stupid. So there we go. Shady, how you been, buddy? How's your week going? And let's talk some games because there's actually a lot of games to talk about now.
I'm doing good, man. The week, though, is going slow. The reason for that, I'm hyped for this weekend showcases. And I was hyped for today's showcase, too, man. As you know, we are the Zealots of Gaming. We're hyped whenever there's gaming news, new gaming trailers, just anything gaming. And today, we got a lot of it, man. So we're going to get into that and just how hyped were we today at the end of it all?
Yeah, we were. And oh shit. Hold on. I got a phone call. Oh, hello. Hargeet. Yeah, Hargeet? Yeah, oh, sorry. Guys, Hargeet's at the show. Oh, yeah, front row. I saw you smiling, ear to ear. You look like the fucking Grinch out there, bud. Yeah. Jeff Keighley? Yeah, you smelled Nicolas Cage. Got it. Woo. Yeah, Hargeet's in LA right now, guys. I hope you guys all know that. He was in the front row. You can literally see him. Oh, yeah. I got to go. Yeah. PlayStation's showcase. Yeah, they held back for that showcase for Summer Game Fest. Yeah, they had a bunch of reveals there. It was great. Yeah, it was like a second showcase for them. Yeah, I got it. All right, later, Hargeet. Kisses. Yeah, I don't know if anybody saw that, but Hargeet was dead center, front row with, I think, Cog, Gaming Addict, Colt was right there. They were all front row of that show. And the whole entire time, Hargeet was just smiling ear to ear. I know, Shady, you didn't see him there, but man, I was laughing because every time it went by him, he's just smiling the whole fucking time. I was dying.
Well, I mean, what kind of a gamer would be in the front row of the Summer Game Fest not be smiling? That's my question. I wouldn't want to know those dudes, man, because there'd be some exciting stuff. You're surrounded by, I mean, Jesus, gamers everywhere. Everyone's flown out around all over the world, all over the country. They've come to this one place to sit around for a couple hours. To be excited about video games, man, I can only imagine the atmosphere of a place like that myself. I've never had the opportunity to go to any type of show similar to this.
Yeah.
And I think it would just be off the chain, man. Whether the game trailers did everything you hoped or not, I just think the atmosphere of hundreds, dare say thousands of gamers all in one area would just be amazing because you don't have to look far to find anyone to talk about your favorite hobby of all time. You just start talking games and anyone around you that can hear it is just like, what? I got opinions? It would be incredible, man. I would have loved to.
The atmosphere would have been cool. I mean, I don't care about all the other stuff that's happening on. Just seeing games and kind of enjoying yourself and being there, talking to everybody. I think that's what Hargeet was excited about. Hargeet's just a real he just enjoys gaming. He enjoys actually talking about them, and he's not on Twitter, but he enjoys talking on podcasts and in parties, and he'll just go off on games any day of the week with you. And so seeing him up there laughing, that's why he's not here today, right? He's not on the show today. But he was just having a blast, and I know he is, and I know he's going to the Xbox Fan Fest to watch it. I don't know if you guys hear this helicopter going over my house right now, but it is insanely loud, and it's insane. I think Jeff's coming to pick me up. I'm going down to LA. I don't care. I'm not too far. But no, man, the games that were being revealed were cool. And honestly, the showcase, I mean, Shady and I were in the backgrounds talking a little bit. It could have been a little bit better, I will say that, but I enjoyed more games, and I'll probably play more games on this showcase than not, right? I don't know if you feel the same way, Shady.
Yeah, I mean, they showed a lot. I found the whole showcase really felt, let's call it old school E3 kind of feel. Live
perfectly put.
Stage. Actual humans walking around up there talking to each other, which for the good and the bad, I mean, I'll take that over just game trailer after game trailer after game trailer after game trailer on kind of a random playlist. I get it. We're all here to see the game trailers. That's why we're tuning in. But bringing a human element to, especially this time of year, the summer showcases, it helps make them feel different, helps make them feel a little bit special. Every now and then you can you get a certain energy off of the developers. They come out to talk about it, which can be really charming or cringe, what have you. I agree. Like these types of showcases during the summer especially during the summer, the E3, the former E3 window.
Yeah, I'm still calling it. I'm still calling it that. I'm still calling it E3. And you're right, like the gasping or the people clapping, like even if it's not that good, some people are clapping because some gamers are excited for certain stuff. The one thing that got me, and I don't know if anybody was listening to this, I think Shady, you might have missed this part, what I was telling you about, was when he showed a Final Fantasy mobile game, Jeff did. And then he's like, speaking of Final Fantasy, and then the whole crowd, that human element was like, oh, like just kind of stopped. And then he's like, no. It's just DoorDash. I laughed so hard because the whole crowd was just like, bruh. And even he kind of laughed at himself. He was just like, shit. Like, I'm about to promote DoorDash instead of actually talking about freaking a new like Final Fantasy or whatever. But I thought it was funny as hell.
If he meant it as like the actual joke that you took it as, or if it was just the way he said it and realized that he kind of led into something where he wasn't going. I actually don't think Jeff is the best host at all.
Nah, he's okay. Yeah, I think he could be a little better.
Okay. Like, I find he gets more excited about announcing a celebrity guest appearance than he does about most of the games. I know that he enjoys like the PlayStation brand a lot, and he just gets seemingly again really hyped whenever he gets to talk about that versus anything else. His body language bugs me. He's just, I don't know, man. We're looking at someone who was like, he's Hollywood.
Can we say though? He did.
Hold on, the man's parents made IMAX. He wants to be around celebrities his whole life. Now he's got the chance, so he's dragging them out on stage to talk about games, and for the good and again the bad. I'm kind of glad that it happens. I like without the human cringe element in these shows, they don't feel like E3 shows to me. They just don't. So having like Nick Cage come out and everyone being he's in Dead by Daylight, which is an old game.
Yeah, that was a weird reveal. I just don't care.
It's a weird putting him in there, but like I thought Nick Cage, I enjoy the actor, I like him, and he kind of knew where he was. He didn't seem like he was lost, like him saying he did every single grunt and ooh and ah and all the voice acting for his character, so the audience and him could feel fused. And it's just, he's patented Nick Cage no matter where he is.
He's got charisma, bro. He has way more charisma.
By and large, I kind of wish Jeff could step back and find a different personality or two to kind of do the shows that he does and just let him run it from behind the scenes. I don't hate the man, but I certainly don't get excited for seeing him. And there was a lot of Jeff Keighley, man. Like he trails off when he's speaking even about a game right after a game trailer, and he's like, "Oh my god, what an absolute crazy collaboration between John Carpenter and Focus," and then he just starts talking.
Yeah,
it's really weird. He's a weird host, I find, but
but the one thing I will say though,
these days,
the one thing I will say though is that he pulled away from like there was no bands. I know Nick Cage was out there. That was probably the biggest one, and a couple other little things, but there was no bands, there was no music, there was no orchestra, there was no like big, wait for this event or wait for that. And like, we have to sit there and not look at a game for, 5 to 10 minutes. So I know that's mainly more for the game awards that they do that for.
Yeah.
But overall, I thought that the show, he was like, here's a game, here's a game, here's a game. Some of the games resonated with me and others didn't. And I think that's the first thing I want to go into, honestly, bro, is, because we're going to get through this. I really want to talk about first the Sony fans that thought all this stuff was going to come at the Game Awards or this Summer Game Fest. And they said it was going to be basically like a Sony's second showing. Now, Sony did show up to some extent. And, Spider-Man, like, what did you think of that reveal? I felt it was kind of, I don't know. I felt like it was one of the worst parts of the whole thing because they didn't even show anything new. They just showed some art and then moved on. And like here's a release date, which was great. I'm excited for the release date. I want to see that game. I want to play it. I want it in my hands. October 20th, I think, is a okay release date. Like, they're giving Starfield a wide berth. But what did you think about that?
There was a lot of us that thought for sure the game was going to be pushed, or we thought it needed to be pushed. Like, a lot of people were of the opinion Spider-Man 2 was not coming this year. They're confident that they got the October 20th. I think it would have landed harder at their own show to have a date there.
100%.
Than to do this at the Keighley show. I don't know if they planned on doing this all the time, or if just there was a lot of negative backlash to the Spider-Man as much as there was positive footage and whatnot.
Yeah, from the first reveal on PlayStation show is what you mean, right?
Yeah, I just don't know if this was actually a part of the show always, or if they managed to, do something with Jeff and get it involved. Because all it was a dev walked out and he showed the box art and then showed 2 still concept art of the one bad guy we've already seen, Kraven, and then the other one, which we already all knew was going to be in the game, Venom. So it was nothing really new, and certainly nothing like amazing to look at. The gameplay footage that was shown while they were talking was just the same gameplay footage that we already watched.
Yeah,
at the,
the 30 framed gameplay footage that they showed out, and
the date, which was cool. We got a date, but I thought that was basically one of, if not almost, the worst segment in the show. It was just kind of this weird, not needed, and almost felt like Sony trying to correct what they didn't do at their own show.
I don't even think it was like a correction. I do feel like Jeff tried to get something out of him. Like, he even brought it up. He was talking about, oh yeah, like you got Venom and Kraven the Hunter and all these people, and he's like, anybody else? And they're like, well, other characters in the city, and that's all we're gonna say. He's like, oh, yeah, that's a tease. Like, I felt kind of bad for Jeff. Like, he was trying to get something out of it, right? Like, he was trying to get like a little anything
before these guys come up on stage. He's just got like an open bar in their locker room there. Just get drunk as you can. I'm gonna come on stage and I'm gonna ask you questions about your games. There was no reveal there at all. I mean,
just the release date.
Eddie Brock. Like, I thought everyone who played those Spider-Man games knew that it wasn't going to be Eddie Brock.
I knew it wasn't going to be Eddie.
Sort of known.
I already knew.
Yeah, and he's like, we got something, special, something different. It's going to be Mary Jane, folks. They're gender swapping Venom. I'm calling it here right now. Showed the artwork, so unless this Lady Venom, unless Mary Jane is
can you imagine?
Gym, man, I don't know what to say.
Can you imagine if, in some of the Spider-Man segments, you play as Mary Jane and you sneak around and you play as her and you're sneaking around, then Venom just fucking grabs her, takes her over. It's just a super brutal scene. She's getting tossed around and then she just becomes evil. It'd redeem all the slow-paced Mary Jane stuff. I'd play that. I don't know about you, but I'd play that.
That was a very weird segment. I thought it was. Just to come out and at the end of the day give the date, which is what people wanted. I thought it was weird. Very weird. I don't know. That's not why I show up to these types of events. Yeah. It's just to have 3 pieces of still artwork shown to me and then a date. I know. I mean, I'm not a Spider-Man super fan. I don't care about the game.
Yeah.
So maybe I'm the wrong guy to go to, but that didn't hype me up at all. That had me rolling my eyes.
It got me hyped for the date because I'm excited to play it, because I am a comic book guy. I'm a Spider-Man guy, and I loved the first game, and I loved Miles Morales, and I think this game is going to be freaking cool. And if it's more of the same, just bigger, kind of like Ragnarok was, I'm okay with it to some extent. I do want to see some different stuff. I already saw some of that with the Venom abilities, but that looks so weird and kind of janky almost with the frames. So I need it to be a little bit better. But that wasn't
the city way bigger, didn't they?
They said that there's Queens and the Bronx. I think they added like a whole 2 different segments of the city in there where you can cross the bridge, because before you couldn't cross the bridge, and now apparently that's there. And then they added some of the suburbs. So I mean, it's a little bit bigger. But I do got to say though, they were also there. Like, I just want to talk about PlayStation having kind of a presence there. I forgot. I was saying, well, Spider-Man was the only one, and you kind of corrected me earlier when we were talking privately.
On a PlayStation game. I mean, PlayStation doesn't make Final Fantasy.
No, they don't.
Shelled out the cash to have it exclusive, and the second part to the Final Fantasy.
What is it called? Rebirth, right? Am I tripping?
Rebirth. I just know it's part 2 of the Final Fantasy VII remake.
Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. Yeah, I'm looking at it right now.
Have they confirmed that it's going to be a trilogy, or have they said how many games at all this could be? Could this be 4 or 5 games if they really wanted to stretch this bad boy?
I think it says 2 discs. It says literally 2 discs.
Which I think is also insane.
Yeah.
Because if you had all the data of Call of Duty on your discs and you didn't have to download stuff to play, it would be 2 discs also. Like, having it labeled as 2 discs as if I'm supposed to get excited. All you're telling me is the game is 100+ gig. That's it. The game is over 100 gig. Like, great. That doesn't say anything. It'd be like Call of Duty literally bragging that it's a 140 gig game. It's so awesome because it's 140 gigs. It just seems weird. Like, I don't know, man. It was something when we were back in the day in our teens and you had your PlayStation 1 or 2 and you got your Final Fantasy VII and it was on like 5 discs. Our teenage brains were just like, oh my God, could you imagine the scope and scale of this game? It needed to be on 7 discs. When most of the data was just for their like CG trailers and stuff going down. But like in today's world, I think it sounds silly as shit, especially in a reality where 10% of the industry, roughly 10 to 20%, is buying physical these days, where everyone else is digital. And you're going to brag about how many discs this thing is on?
I mean, I felt like it's kind of weird because even back then when we were kids, like I remember playing a game and I needed the second disc and it just stopped and it's like, put the second disc in. And it's like, what the shit? Like, so you did it. Like, I haven't thought of that in years. And Dave Barron and a couple other people in the chat Thank you guys. They're saying they confirmed it is a trilogy. So you were right. Like they say that
trilogy. Okay,
they
so
say
it's
it
at
is.
least 3 games with a little bit of DLC in each. So like you're looking at minimum $210 to $250 US or more, depending on how much of the little DLC you buy and how much they price that stuff, to play essentially one game that they've stretched over 3. It's not for me. Final Fantasy VII, the original on the PlayStation, was my first Final Fantasy. I absolutely adored it. Beat it a couple times. I loved it. I loved it. I would make up my own narrative as I would go. I loved everything about it. And then I just dropped Final Fantasy like a bad habit after that. I tried to play a couple of them after, and I just couldn't get past a few hours in. It didn't click, man.
I never got into them.
The franchise, like, at all. And this remake, I mean, I was semi-interested because it was the one Final Fantasy that I was into in my teens. But it being exclusive the way it was, and it was supposed to be timed, now it's not. And then just stopping and thinking about it, and like, you have to wait the better part of a decade to get the end of this bad boy. Plus, you're essentially buying 3+ games. I think it's just, it's kind of obscene.
Well, wasn't the first one, the first remake, like, I think it was like 40, 50 hours, and it's like, it was like a fraction of the game. And then they started, you know, they're saying that it's a trilogy because they want to, I don't know, like milk it probably. But I've never been into like the Final Fantasy thing. I just never got into it. And this is even, I even played the MMO. Like, I know, because I'm an MMO fan. I love MMOs.
14,
and yeah, I played 14. Yeah, I played it. My buddies played it a bunch, and they were like, get into it, like, play with us. And it's like, of course, I'm gonna try a game out with my buds. And when I did, I just was like, I don't care about the world. I don't care about the art style. I don't care about what's happening. Let's go play World of Warcraft. Let's go play Lost Ark. Let's go play something else that's an MMO-esque. And now that Diablo's out, they're not even touching that. Everybody's playing Diablo. But like that thing kind of got me like, nah. I just didn't really enjoy Final Fantasy. And I get, like, the thing that kind of disappointed me about the show is he was like, you're going to want to wait for the closeout of what this is. Trust me, you don't want to miss it. And in my head, I was like, if it's Final Fantasy, I'm going to get annoyed. I'm going to get annoyed if it's Final Fantasy. And then it closed with Final Fantasy, and I was like, I'm annoyed. So it's cool. Like, hey, I know a lot of people love that game. I know Fonz, I think, played Fonz from my homie from RDX and stuff. He played those games, and he loved it. Actually, we have... You want to get this, Shady? We have a super chat, my friend.
Well, super chat. East Texas Alex with the $4.99. What's up, Zalker? Great to see ya. Lies of P looks great. You know, East Texas Alex, the demo for Lies of P is out right now. It's 20 gig in the Xbox store.
Yeah.
I downloaded it and loaded it up before this to see just, you know, what it was, what it looked like. And at least on the OLED that I'm using, the LG OLED, it has this weird strobing effect. Like all the darks on the entire screen are just strobing the entire time the game is on. So I think it has some kind of a glitch. I might try just turning off Dolby Vision or turning off HDR. Like the game options even
just give it some of that.
First start, it's like, do you want HDR on? So I don't know if they know there's an issue or not, but it does have a weird strobing
I would,
effect,
before turning that stuff off, turn off, just do a hard restart on your Xbox. Like that might be something.
I don't think it's that. I don't think it's that. I'm pretty sure it's just in the game.
We have another one too if you want to grab it, by the way.
Of course. Just give me a moment here. That is Hush Al Ghul with the $2 flat. Prince of Persia platformer looked sick. Now that was the game they opened the show with, Soccer. Yeah. You were saying that you actually thought it looked sick as well. You were really into what you had there.
So okay. Like, so that thing when it opened, I was looking. I was like, "Is this Prince of Persia? This looks kind of like cool. Like I'm enjoying it." And then I saw the gameplay. It looked awesome. I don't give a shit what anybody says. That looked great. Like, I love Ubisoft games in general. That Prince of Persia game looked awesome. The side scrolling, the combat, it was sick, dude. What was that?
It had some cool combat.
Yeah, dude, definitely.
It looked like there was actually some decent combos going on. The animation was smooth. Mm-hmm. I thought the graphics could have been, a little bit better, but I mean, it's got its own art style, and as long as it's consistent throughout the game, then I'm fine with that. You know, you get used to it when you're playing, and I don't need every game certainly to look realistic in any stretch of the world. I'm actually I think leaning more towards the art styled games these days because they last longer. They just hold their charm more. But yeah, I thought that looked cool too. It looked fast, and it's been how long since we've had a proper Prince of Persia?
I mean, I think if the gameplay hits, like especially with that art style, what they're doing, how slashy it is, it looks really cool. I feel like it hits that fine line between kind of fantastical and all the way it looks, and the combat's cool, and the enemies look cool. The art style, like you said, it had like this charm that I really enjoyed to see. And I hope the gameplay's good, because on side scrollers with side scroller combat, it needs to be good. One of the ones I liked a lot was Ori. Ori's combat felt really good, and that's why I enjoyed playing Ori. So I hope this looks I just think it looks cool. I can't wait to play it. It comes out in January.
Too, right? I think the game is called the Lost Crown, I believe. And
yes, it's a new story then. Yeah,
it's not like a retelling of an old 3D game or anything like that. It's a new one. So they've got this, and then they're remaking the Sands of Time. I'm not sure how long.
Who knows when that's coming out?
It seems that Ubisoft is trying to, dig up the Sands of Time or the Prince of Persia again. Like, maybe they start having a Prince of Persia in between Assassin's Creeds as opposed to relying only on Assassin's Creed.
Well, Prince of Persia is the kick. Yeah, thank you. I was just going to say that it came from it. And the funny thing is, that for Prince of Persia, I know people are going to laugh at me. Like, I actually enjoyed like the Jake Gyllenhaal movie. Like, I thought it was just dumb fun for a video game movie, dude.
It was pretty good too. Its budget was good. Its effects were good enough, and it was a fun movie. Like, who goes into a video game movie, especially at that time, thinking that this is going to be like some kind of a life-changing, Oscar-worthy nothing? Like, it's supposed to be fun. As long as the video game movie respects its source material, I'm generally pretty good with it.
Yeah, and
like, I know what I'm getting.
Yeah, I know what I'm getting to. So I'm looking forward to that. And actually Ubisoft shows on Monday, which we're both looking forward to. So I don't want to say anything. I'm looking forward to certain games on that. We have so much to talk about that I don't want to get into that right now. Hopefully we get into that next week, or just maybe, hopefully, a little bit later this week on Sunday when Xbox has their showcase. Let's see what else was brought out there.
Right after the Prince of Persia, man, they came out swinging and tearing out motherfucking spines with the Mortal Kombat gameplay reveal. And it was hit and miss for me. Graphically, I thought it was going to look a little better. It does look very similar to the last one, I thought.
Yeah, I think so too.
I understood that the original reveal was a cinematic, like not necessarily in engine even, but like full-blown CGI type stuff.
Yeah, I get what you're saying.
I really thought that they were going to be able to pull off something that looked almost like that, and I was going to have like my eyes just kind of melt out again, but it still looked really good. Everything was really tight. The animations are they're Mortal Kombat animations. I find them semi-stiff here and there, but like they look great. I think the characters look awesome. I've always loved Mortal Kombat's characters. The fatalities look absolutely fantastic. They ride this awesome balance, or they don't ride anything. They balance in between of like being really gross out and hysterical at the same time. Like, they're kind of slapsticky, even though they're gnarly as shit. Like, they're not really trying to make you feel disgusted as much as kind of excited and be able to laugh at what you see. And I like that, man. Like, I think it's good. I'm not big on the cameos though. How about you? Where you can like tag in these other guys and they come zipping in and shoot off a special and then zip out the other side real fast.
I didn't really like that at all. I didn't like that too much. I mean, I think it could be cool. I think they can have some. What I'm hoping is they have some awesome fatalities attached to them, which I think that would be cool. And they were like, I thought the game graphically on the stream it looked okay, but when I put it in 4K on the trailer when it was on YouTube, it looked a little bit better, or a lot better. But I do got to say that I am not the biggest fighter fan. Like, I mean, I know people love Street Fighter. I enjoy Mortal Kombat's story. To me, to this day, I know this is funny. The last Mortal Kombat that came out, what was that, like 3-4 years ago? Their trailer story to me was still one of the best trailers in gaming that I've seen, with the music and everything, and it just looks sick, and it got me so hyped that I bought the game and beat the game, and I really just enjoyed it. I thought this trailer was cool, the music was hitting, and in this one, it's kind of the same thing. Like, they really did mix in story, gameplay, and they did that, and then, of course, they had the G come out, Ed Boon, who was doing a bunch of stuff. I just totally burped into the mic, and it was beautiful.
Could you imagine working on, like, one IP almost exclusively for...
Well, no.
It's like 25, 30 years of Mortal Kombat.
Well, I mean, he loves it, right?
Because, like, Mortal Kombat, it has had... This is like the 13th or 14th or 15th game, really, because they weren't all just Mortal Kombat 1 through 11 straight. There was a bunch of offshoots and stuff in between.
Annihilation and stuff like that from like the N64. Man.
There has been a lot, and this guy's just cranking them out. So, I mean, if he's got the passion, which I would say by the end result product, he clearly does. That'd be crazy to be able to just spend your like career's worth.
How long has he been on
this one IP, man? Since the very beginning, I'm pretty sure he like.
Was he one? Well, didn't he work on Injustice also?
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if he did. His name is really that's Noob. Noob Saibot is his name, and the other guy who helped make the game's names backwards is where they get Noob Saibot from.
By the way,
pretty cool.
By the way, Shady, we have another super chat.
I did see that super chat.
Go ahead, buddy.
And it's a good one. It's from Specs, New York City, with $4.99. Hey, Zalker, did not know you have Vince Vaughn as your co-host. Laugh emoji. Great show, fellas. Now listen. If I had a Canadian loony every time someone sounded like Vince Vaughn, I would have at least 1,000 loonies or 500 toonies, as we say up here. But I mean,
Looney Toonies.
Like, at least Vince Vaughn's not a total douchebag and hasn't like ruined his career and shamed my voice in the process. That man needs to keep his act together. He's got both of our careers on the line. But I've heard that so many times, man, and I appreciate it. I do like that. I like Vince Vaughn. I don't hear myself when I hear him, but no one hears themselves when they hear themselves, right?
Well, yeah, I appreciate the super chat spectating here. And honestly, I'm going to give a shout out to Lethal Papa, who's out there just absolutely being the awesome boss mod that he's always been and a great friend. I appreciate you, man. Thank you for keeping the chat clean. And honestly, the chat's been pretty clean. They're just talking about the games they like, they don't like. We got God Emperor, Sofa King, Nets Nation.
He says it's Boone and Tobias. Yes, Ed Boone and John Tobias. Those are the names. Those are the two dudes that created Mortal Kombat, and their names backwards was Noob Saibot.
Dude, by the way, everybody in the chat's like, yep, he does sound like Vince. And
it's going to be endless now.
It's over now, dude. We got to get like a little emoji coming out with Vince Vaughn from like Swingers or something, holding up a drink.
Vince Vaughn movies this week, so I can start dropping some.
Oh, I'm getting Dodgeball.
Yeah, what goes?
I'm getting Dodgeball. It's over. But yeah, what was after Mortal Kombat? I know you have the list going down, sir.
Right after Mortal Kombat, man. Which they also. What the hell do they have here with Mortal Kombat? There was something else. No, there wasn't the date. I thought they gave something.
No.
Path of Exile 2, the free-to-play Diablo-like.
Yeah.
What do you think of this, Zalker? I know you're really into these types of games. You're obsessed with Diablo right now. So what do you think of this free-to-play sequel over here?
So I thought Path of Exile was actually a really fun game. I thought it was a pretty good first try on this action RPG over the top, kind of like Odds Eye View, like Diablo has. I'm really enjoying that. And I thought this looked incredible. I thought the destructible environment when that monster blew through that wall and just freaking took everything out. Particle was flying everywhere. I don't know if anybody noticed this because I went and watched it again. There were a little bit of hitches, like frame rate wise, in that gameplay. And I was like, okay, well, they have time to fix that. But Path of Exile, I think, too, is going to be really cool. I think it's going to be a lot of fun. I'm going to check it out. And especially now, I'm kind of biased because I'm on this high from Diablo, and I'm talking high, everybody. I think like 50, 60 hours into Diablo 4. I have multiple almost level 40s. I have multiple level 20s. I've been going crazy. I'm only in Act 2, doing all the side quests, everything. So I'm in this like zone of how awesome Diablo is. So yeah, I think Path of Exile 2. I think it looks pretty cool, man. I'm gonna check it out. And you said it's free to play, right? So. Why not?
I would assume the first one is free to play, so I think it'd be weird if they abandoned the model because one would assume it was rather successful for them. It was going for years and years, still was, or is. I mean, I played it for the first time myself after playing the Diablo 4.
That's a bad mistake.
Yeah, like I thought it looked okay. I knew the game was older, but like I still thought it looked pretty good. But I just found the combat to be off. When
not
I was
as tight.
Creatures, yeah, it just wasn't as tight, man. Where it almost feels like a hack and slash when I'm playing Diablo. It feels like what I'm swinging makes contact with the creature, and like it just has a good feel. Whereas the first Path of Exile, it didn't in comparison, so I didn't give it much more than like 30 minutes. But I thought that trailer looked pretty awesome. It looked fast-paced. Like the character was running away from the enemies and trying to turn around and desperately throwing the lightning down and everything. I thought it was like a neat look, whereas Diablo itself, Diablo 4 right now, feels and looks very methodical when I play it. And when I watch
very brutal. It's very brutal. Like that's the thing that Diablo has down is it does have the classes and the gameplay within those classes down. And I would say the only new one that they brought was the Rogue, and again it feels so different than everything else that you play within Diablo that it has its own unique feel. Like you said, the gameplay is tight. They know what they're doing. Blizzard have been making this game for over 20 years, and they know how to get that combat down, and on top of it, they know how to get that combat down, especially on controller. That's the big thing. And I do got to say this really quick because we always fucking forget. Everybody that's here, please hit that like button. Please share this out. Apparently, I'm getting messages that no notification from YouTube was sent out, but I don't give a shit because we have a bunch of people in here and everybody in chat. I'm just happy you're here. You guys are being awesome audience, and I could just tell that there's a lot of like passionate gamers in the chat right now just talking about stuff they enjoy.
We got a real passionate man who just had to swing by and let us know Expose 305 with the $9.99. Cannot wait to listen tomorrow at work. keep up the good fraudulence. So I mean, we'll do our best with the fraudulence.
We'll do what we
how it
can.
goes. And thanks for the super chat, and we're glad to be able to, help your workday go just that much faster tomorrow as opposed
Make
to
sure you
listening
blast us though, like super loud over the mic at work,
yeah.
so they know who the fuck you're listening to. The Zealots of Gaming. That's what I need to know. That's all we need to see. And hold on. Oh.
What are you holding on?
Hargeet?
We didn't get a date
Hargeet?
for Path of Exile,
Hello?
though.
Hargeet? Yeah.
more
Hey, bud.
Hargeet?
Yeah, dude, he's calling, dude. Hold on. Can you... Shady. I'm sorry, Hargeet.
Sorry,
the disrespect.
Sorry, man. You got your
the
phone
disrespect.
vibrate in your pocket. I don't hear it.
I'm sorry.
You're
Yeah.
feeling it.
Yes, Hargeet. Yeah. Sony had no games at the show. I know. Their showcase, that's all they had. I know, Hargeet. You're being a zealot. Calm down. Xbox is the best spot. I got it. Yeah. Hargeet, chill. I know. You're hanging out with Phil? Tell Phil I say hi. Yeah. Invite me to parties, Phil. What's your problem? What a dick. All right. Thanks, Hargeet. Later, bud. Yeah. That was Hargeet. He was saying Sony has no games. He's just, he's on an all-time high. I feel bad for, he's having a good time. He did hang out with Jeff, but he's hanging out with Colt and everybody else there. But, Phil's there. He's having dinner.
With Greenberg on Twitter.
He was. I don't know if everybody saw that.
I'm seeing his likeness passed around the goddamn
I'm here.
Oh, he is here. There's no way.
Yo.
Dude, you messed up the whole fucking thing on. You know what? We're sharing a square. That's what I like. Oh, and you turned on your camera. Look, boys and girls, children of all ages. We got the. Did you see me get the fake phone call? You son of a bitch! Oh my god!
Isn't real Zalker? You're bullshitting me.
Hold on. Let me get this set up perfectly so we can get the homie in. Damn it, Shady!
You were really talking with Hargeet. You're just pulling my leg.
Oh no!
Nope. We just got back like 10 seconds ago, and I'm like, hey, there's time. I can get in.
I'm trying to get.
You're the man on the floor, front row, multiple times, seeing you grinning ear to ear. I assume you had a good time, man. Let us know.
Yeah, it was good. I'll give an overall rating of about an 8. I thought the showcase was pretty cool. We had like Nick Cage shows up.
Yep.
Nick Cage. Did you sweat on you? You got some sweat of Nick Cage on you?
Yeah, it was. Yeah, literally, it's like 4 feet in front of me.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah. So yeah, I don't know how the audio is. This is not obviously
Son
my
of a
normal
bitch.
setup, but
I'm trying to set you up.
We can hear you. You're a little quieter than us, but we can hear you, Hargeet.
Okay. So I don't know. I don't know if I can increase my gain or not, but maybe you can do
That's
something.
good. You're not whispering. It's good. We can hear you, man.
Yeah, we got you.
Yeah. So I think a lot of cool announcements. I'm kind of curious how they got the Spider-Man reveal for the date and the Final 7 Rebirth, announced over here. That Final Fantasy, if that was in the showcase for Sony, that would have been massive points for them. Like, I'm surprised.
What was the crowd pop for that final reveal? Like, we could hear it through the cameras, but like in person, was it just deafening?
It was great, yeah. And yeah, that was one of the moments that was very loud. That was very enthusiastic. Like, people really liked that was there. But I'm Colt did not like it. But
you leave Colt and his zealotness out of this, man. But, I hope it looks good, everybody on screen. Sorry, I'm like makeshift putting this together.
Yeah, that was pretty good. And I think most people seem to have like a 7. I still think it's an 8. There was like the Sonic reveal that was really cool.
It was exciting, yeah.
Right, there was the Mortal Kombat, like Ed Boon shows up, and we see that massive trailer with like a lot of gameplay, right? A lot of cool, and like they showcase some of the things that are coming in with like people coming in to help you. Very very cool stuff. Yeah, I mean there was a lot of I think pretty good announcements. So it was a pretty good showcase overall. I mean, if I had to rate like say the Sony showcase without having it be a Sony showcase, if that was the Keighley showcase, that would also have been pretty good. Unfortunately for them, it's a Sony showcase, and that's where it like totally faltered because it gave you no reason to go to PlayStation, right? You got more reason at this showcase because you got Final Fantasy VII, and you had the Spider-Man reveal was there, but you got the date. This is coming this fall, and it's firm now, right? Assuming they don't delay it, that it's coming October. You got it. You're getting this game, right? So I think you got more reason to have a PlayStation from this showcase than you did from the Sony showcase, which is just sad. But it is what it is. I think overall I give it like an 8, but I think a lot of people are thinking 7. The two biggest things one big thing, there was 2 of them there was a Netflix Witcher series.
Oh my god.
There was
right.
and then there was that movie trailer for
the Twisted Metal trailer was the worst part to me of the show. I did not want to hear the thong song. I did not want to see Anthony Mackie get thrown around by a clown and like whatever the hell.
Nobody cared about that.
They sing the thong song to each other, even though they're trying to kill each other. They're also bonding on a bro level, singing that thong, 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 thong. I don't get it either, man. That was some cringe action right there. How did the audience react to those, Hargeet? Were you guys also just like this big, like,
one of those, okay, yeah, all right, yeah, whatever.
Can I say, Hargeet, really quick? Sorry, can I say that every time, because I saw you when the thing first started, it panned behind him, and I saw you, Colt, everybody, you're smiling. And then 10 minutes later, it panned, you're smiling. 5 minutes later, you're smiling. I was like, Hargeet is just, and I was talking to Gaz, actually, our boy Gaz. I was like, yo, bro, I was like, Hargeet is just fucking grinning the entire time there. I'm like, he's loving life. He doesn't give a shit.
The seats suck. So there's the normal seating, which is actually really good. You have like your own nice bucket seat with like a drink holder and all that. These were just like little chairs, all linked. They're foldable chairs, literally foldable chairs. And I had a rather large dude next to me on one side. I'm rather large, and then I had a Risket on the other side. I'm like. So I literally had to like scrunch forward and let them kind of have space behind me. So I was like on the edge of the chair. Even with that, I was still having a lot of fun, but that part sucked.
Yeah.
But we were the wall man just watching game trailers. I love it.
Yeah,
that's awesome.
But you got to like see that. Like, we were literally front freaking row, right? So
I actually did see you kind of smush because Risket's a big dude, man. Risket's a tall dude. You guys look like you're having fun, and I know you. The man that has no Twitter is again trending on fucking Twitter. I saw you were hanging out with Aaron Greenberg, Colt, Cog, a bunch of people. You guys were all having breakfast together.
We had a conversation with Aaron as well, right? And I guess there's nothing that was really private. So one of the things that I asked him was, hey, is there a potential for getting a live showcase for Xbox? And he's like, very unlikely because the cost is so much and it is very hard to get everything perfect because live showcases, you have to like rehearse everything to the point where every presenter is spot on with everything.
Yeah.
It's just so much easier to not do that.
Isn't that where a lot of the leaks were coming from in previous years? Was like some security
Jeff
guard
Keighley did it. Jeff Keighley did it.
Yeah, just someone in there, right, would see one of these rehearsals and just here's everything that's coming.
So they're like, Aaron's like, that's not really
fair enough.
Did you see Atlas? By the way, people are in chat. I've seen it come up 18 times now, so we got to talk about it a little bit. Chatless. Atlas leaked the Persona 3 remake that's apparently coming to the Xbox showcase and maybe Game Pass, and then also Persona Tactics, I think.
Persona 5 Tactics.
Game Pass Day 1.
Game Pass Day 1.
Yeah. So we saw the leaks, man.
Those tweets are getting mad retweets and likes. I don't play Persona myself, but they clearly have an audience that is into that. And good on Xbox if that's real. I don't know why it wouldn't be. Atlas put it out themselves. That's pretty big. There's a lot of people talking about it.
Yeah, and like these were not unknowns, right? Because people had like figured out, hey, you just made these domains. Generally, when that happens and you're starting to change the domain to be something live, okay, something's coming, and it looks like this is happening within a showcase, and yeah.
Can I ask you what was? I think we should just get in this together. I'll start with you, Hargeet. Actually, since you were there, what was your top game that you saw that you were like, I can't wait to play that?
Cog had asked me that right as we finished, and it was like I was still digesting. So I'm like, that Street Fighter Exoprimal, crossover is just weird. That looks like something crazy. I just want to see what the hell it is. But there were a lot of cool things. Thinking through it, I think the one that actually stands out for me is, and we knew this game was coming, was the Yakuza game that's the man was. So I think that one's going to be the one that's the most interesting to me. Just to say, like, the way they've made that happen, it looks pretty cool.
You mean like a Dragon Gaiden, the man who erased his name?
Something like that?
Man, almost like I didn't even need to have it written down to remember,
Yeah.
It looked interesting. It did.
Yeah.
Like, the graphics look cool. I think it's... what trips me out the most of that whole series is that on one hand, it looks like it's really serious and like hardcore. And then on the other hand, it is so goofy and silly, and they just smash into each other, like the hardcore serious and the goofy silly, and they just go at it. And like, it looks interesting for sure. I'm not sure if I'll be into it, but one of my buddies is big into the series, so I'll watch some of his.
Yeah, I mean, I would highly recommend it, especially since they're all in Game Pass. I would highly recommend like playing at least Yakuza 0, Yakuza Kiwami. No, it's just Yakuza 0, right? Yakuza Kiwami is the remakes of 1 and 2, and I don't think they've done 3 yet, but.
It made me laugh when he just starts like going off and beating the absolute shit of everyone in the streets there.
Yeah.
It's just like, just slamming dudes and stuff. It looks over the top.
Mm-hmm. And that's kind of it. And that's kind of like, if you think of Japanese culture, right, that is kind of the way they do things, right? So that's kind of just, but the storyline for that is great. The protagonist in that one is really good. So I would recommend it to anybody, but try it out. Yes, it does have like side missions that are goofy, but like I think a lot of games do that for humor, right? Yeah. The main storyline, there's none of that. The main storyline is all serious, and it's very.
Oh, I did not know that. I thought the main story was as silly as
No, actually, the few hours I did play, of Like a Dragon, the main story was very serious and very like gangster, and like didn't fuck around with some cool characters.
Gangster,
and then pretty gangster, man, like Yakuza shit, man.
Right?
It's mafia.
Mafia, right? So, and that's what it's all about. It's all the Japanese mafia, right? And so the main storyline is all that. There's very little goofiness there. It's all like all honor and whatever, all that stuff. It's very, very intense, mature. But again, there are side missions that are just side fun things that make it more uplifting, I guess. Just like
so, you're really hyped for this game. Then it was one of your top.
I like the
games shown.
I've played pretty much all of it. So
didn't you play like all of them through like back to back to back?
I did 0 through 6.
Damn. Those are long games too.
Dude, he went for yeah, he did. Dude.
80-hour games.
I actually met him when he was playing through them, and I'm like, which one are you on now? And he's like, I'm on 4. And this is like when I first met Hargeet, and I'm sitting there and I'm like, that sounds cool. And then I didn't know how big they were because I'm not into those franchises. And when I looked up how big they are, I was like, are you spending like 80 to 100 hours on each of these games? And he's like, yeah. And I'm actually enjoying the hell out of it. And I was like, dude, enjoy yourself. Like, holy cow, like Hargeet plays games, people. That's one thing nobody could ever talk shit. He might not have Twitter and he might trend on there for some reason, but he has games. And I want to, before they go, there was a couple super chats out there. I don't want to leave people hanging.
You need to shoot your traps so these zealots can hand us some cash and we can read what they had to say.
Thank you.
Starting with Hush El Ghul, $5 flat. Current path of exile has 1,325 skills in the skill tree. Is that true?
I think it is. I think that skill tree is so insane.
Jesus. I remember the game had a huge skill tree, but 1,300 plus with, of course, the face palm emoji. I'll be sticking to Diablo 4, he says. It's a little more conquerable, I think. 1,300 skills? That's outrageous. On one hand, cool. On the other, good lord. And then, Grumble, 199. Hargeet, tell them how to pronounce Diablo. Was it Diablo? Diablo?
How do you say it, Hargeet?
Well, I guess it's Diablo. That's the actual word. Diablo.
Did you hear that little tang at the end of it?
Called names if I start using some accents and stuff. I'm not allowed to do that, Hargeet.
It's when Guardian Levio saw, not when Guardian Levio saw. Fucking A, you like what the fuck?
Not Levio saw.
Hey, man, people scream at me for the way I say Mario.
Mario,
not Mario. Like, hey.
I'm cringing.
Speak my version of English when I ask them to say my name. There's accent all over that. They can take my Mario.
Yeah. Let's see. What else was at what else was? Oh, by the way, did you? I was super hyped for one of my games that I enjoyed. There was Space Marine 2. I thought that looked fucking awesome. I don't care what anybody says, dude. I want to. The gameplay looked insane. The tiers looked insane, and it's from a developer that I love who made World War Z, which I really enjoyed. I beat that game twice, played a bunch of the DLC. I loved it, and they basically used funny thing is I was reading a little bit about them, and they put on Reddit or something, like just the developers talking about like development. The new update for World War Z that came out not too long ago had a bunch of new like mobs, even more zombies, and they used it as like a test hub for this game. They're like, can we get this many zombies on these consoles and on this PC and in our engine? And they did, and they got it to work, and they released it to the public to make sure that it really worked. And they're going to be using a lot of that stuff within Space Marine 2, and I can't wait to fucking play that, dude. I don't care what anybody says. Space Marine 1 is still, I love that game. Colt Eastwood, our buddy Colt Eastwood from YouTube and stuff, who's on XNC, he actually just bought it and is going to play it for the first time and then posted it, and then he was talking to me. He was like, hey, I bought it on Steam for like, I think it was like $3. He's like, I'm going to play it. And then he started playing, and he's like, yo, it's actually really good. I understand what you mean, even though it's like a 13-year-old game. So I can't wait for that one. What did you guys think of that?
I'll go last. Hargeet, what do you think of Space Marine?
It looks fun. It looks like it's going to be a fun co-op game, right? It was
co-op. This was the first time we heard about confirmed co-op, right? I don't think that was out before.
3-player co-op. I think that was
3-player.
Yeah.
That looks great with the 3-player too. Yeah.
Yeah, no, they confirmed co-op when they announced it, because it showed three dudes, and then it's the same people that made World War Z, so they confirmed it. They said it's going to have that type of co-op on there. I think they confirmed that way back when they announced the game like a year and a half ago.
It has me more excited. To be honest, it having the Tyranids as the main baddie is a bit of a letdown to me. It's just a big, group of enemies that is just kind of like animals, beasts. They're just kind of mindless. I don't expect
like
any
Zerg,
story out of their side. And on one hand, it's really cool to be just blasting away at like hundreds of guys pouring in a door, and you're just dropping bodies everywhere, and there's carnage and explosions and all this. And I think there can be a lot of fun with that, especially with co-op. But personally, I wish it was a different main enemy, like the orcs or maybe the Chaos Marines or anything else that's a bit more humanoid, and I'm not fighting them by the millions at a time.
I think the Necron would have been
gameplay.
I feel like the Necron would have been a little bit better. I get what you're saying, because I wouldn't even want the orcs, because the orcs are just about wog, right? Like they just are about war. They're kind of the same. They're kind of the same as that. But I think Chaos Marines or even the Necrons or a couple other more intelligent things, where at some point then when you get to that, it is going to be a little bit more like Gears of War, because then they're going to be taking cover. You're going to have to be taking cover, stuff like that.
Rather that at the end of the day, I kind of wanted a little bit more Gearsy. And a lot of that is just because it looks like you're fighting like literally hundreds, if not thousands of guys at the same time, which is cool. But my preferred gameplay loop is a little bit more up close and personal, fighting like 5 to 10 guys in the arena at the same time, and they just pour them in as they die kind of deal. I think it's going to be great. Like, I've been really excited for this. I like the Warhammer lore a lot, and the look of everything, the Marines and stuff. They just look wicked, man.
Yeah, I like the lore especially. And the Tyranids, I mean, I know a lot about like their lore. I know a lot about the Space Marine lore. I'm sure there's going to be some Easter eggs with other stuff. And the thing I'm more excited about is that I think there's going to be expansions, because they expanded upon World War Z a bunch. They expanded on World War Z with a lot more stuff throughout the years, that to the point where I kept coming back to it, right? So as you keep coming back to this game, it just gives you more content and everything, and that's what it is. This is going to be a games as a service game at the end of the day, because that's what that studio makes, and I'm okay with that. I'm okay with that.
It's going to be a co-op game, so as long as you're hyped and you want to play it, I'll be there with you, man. So like, you being really excited does fuel my excitement more forward. It's like, this may not be my ideal sequel, but it still like graphically looked pretty damn amazing, and I think it's going to be a hell of a good time with that 3-player.
Yeah, me too. So I'm seeing a bunch of people in the chat saying Space Marine was one of the games that they were looking forward to the most, and they loved it. A couple other people are talking about one of your favorite games, Shady. Actually, I'll let you get into that. What was your game of the show that you enjoyed, man?
We've seen a decent amount of gameplay footage of it previous, but we have been waiting around over here in the Sesh Empire headquarters for a date. When can we play it? And that is Remnant from the Ashes 2, man. That first game, it took me a couple, like, it was out for almost 2 years, I think, before I picked it up and played it, and it just blew me away how much it grabbed me, man. The gameplay I thought was incredible. The gunplay felt tight. A lot of variation in the locations and enemies. It really sat, and it like sat on this balancing wire of feeling on one hand like, oh man, I'm kicking so much ass, this game might be a little bit too easy, and then like 1 second later, some enemy just comes up and ends your day. Like it's like a lot of people called it a shooter's Dark Souls type game.
Yeah, I remember that.
I can see that. I can see, like, there's a lot of dive rolling, enemies hit hard. But when you get good at it, man, I thought the loop was incredible. I really got into the lore of Remnant, and I was always hoping that the game was successful enough that we would see more. And when they announced the sequel, we were really hyped around here. And now that we know that we get it in just over like a month and a half, that was my announcement actually of the show, was just getting the date for that game because we're so excited for it.
Yeah, and the gameplay looked really good, man. They showed up a lot of stuff. Like with the game, it looked awesome. I thought the art direction was great. I thought it looked realistic. I just thought it looked fun because I played Remnant for a few hours. I didn't play it as much as most people, but I thought it was a lot of fun. I feel like it had a really good audience, and then it went on Game Pass, right? PC and console, and it just, to me, blew up. Like, I had multiple people asking me to play with them, not just friends, but like friends across, like, in real life, friends on Xbox, friends on YouTube, friends everywhere. We're talking about this game and how fun it is, and most of them were actually getting achievement points and actually playing it, and they're like, yeah, this has like a good balance between exactly what you said, Shady, between Dark Souls and just fun. And that was a good balance that it had with it. And I'm looking forward to it, man. I'm going to play that next month. I think like you said, Space Marine got you, like my hype got you hyped. This hype that you have for this game has me hyped, and I'll be there to play with you.
This was just overall, like the gameplay that they showed there, I thought looked really good. But like it was just the date, like just knowing that it was July 25th is what had me hyped. Because we've seen a lot of footage of Remnant 2, and I understand that. Like, I've critiqued other games showing up at, like, say, the PlayStation Showcase because we'd already seen them, like Street Fighter 6 and Final Fantasy 50 or 16. We've seen these games a lot, and that's why I don't like to see them necessarily at showcases. But I was really looking for a date on this one, and this was the first co-op trailer, and they did kind of show, like, a future setting. Remnant's really cool. You're, like, shifting to different planets and stuff through this weird... It's like it's
different.
Really
what do you call them? Different biomes.
It's like a clash of the past and sci-fi future stuff all together. It really
see how you were hyped for the date, like to get a date. That's how I kind of was with Spider-Man. I didn't like the way they did it, but I was hyped.
Cool trailer with mine.
Yeah, you did get a cool gameplay. You got a good gameplay trailer. I got a guy talking, and then just like the same gameplay trailer I got. But yeah, I'm looking at a couple other games that were announced there. What else did they have? Oh, they had Baldur's Gate 3, which looked okay. I don't know. We talked about that before. But the one thing I do want to talk about is what is that one with the dumb name, Shady? I forgot the name. I can't find it now. Toxic Commandos or some shit.
Oh yeah, the John Carpenter.
Yeah, man, I thought that name was so dumb too, but the game looked awesome.
It did.
What did you guys think of that, man?
Yeah,
it looked pretty dope.
It looks interesting. It's an interesting mix of having John Carpenter.
Yeah, it's like what?
Weird.
It was weird.
John Carpenter's Toxic Commandos, and then they just show this big open world zombie game, which seems like there's an emphasis on vehicles. I just don't understand where the toxic comes in. Is that where the zombies came from? Are they toxic zombies, Hargeet?
It looks like it, right?
Yeah, no, I thought it was it was toxic, a lot of it. But how was the crowd reaction for that
type game though, right? Like just hordes of bad, like whatever.
It kind of did look like a little like Left 4 Dead with World War Z, with just a bunch of things, like kind of the same gameplay loop that we're talking about with Space Marine, but more Left 4 Dead. And to me, I still think, or Back 4 Blood, right? So I still think that that gameplay loop, I think the best team that's done it is still Left 4 Dead 1 and 2. I still haven't met somebody that's done the first-person zombie kind of thing. That was my favorite, if not one of my favorite zombie games of all time. I enjoyed it, man.
Phenomenal.
Left 4 Dead 2, everything like that was just amazing looking. And so I really want to see what this is about. I think the name is dumb, but I do want to play that game because it looked cool, dude. It looked really cool. Like I thought, like the graphics looked cool, the gameplay looked cool, the zombies look cool, the environment looked cool. Everything about it just looked really nice, and I want to check it out.
How about the trailer for a different showcase? There was a moment there where they cranked out like 3 or 4 good-looking indies in a row. Turns out they're all Annapurna games. And they're coming to see more at an Annapurna showcase coming June 29th.
I did not see that part.
Yeah, they had a
showcase for another game showcase. I don't know if I've ever seen that before, boys. Can you guys remember?
I've never seen that. Oh, no, wait, no. I've seen that once where they promote another showcase. That happened on the Xbox stage where they brought out Fallout 4 and then said, tune in for more at the Bethesda showcase. Todd Howard did that. I remember that years ago before Xbox bought them. They did that once. That's the only time I remember, and that's obviously because Todd Howard and Phil and everybody at Xbox has such a great relationship that they're like, here, we're going to announce it here. Fallout 4 is coming. Watch the gameplay at our show on Bethesda, which was like a cool little like relationship. But I do want to take a second everybody that's here. There's so many people. We have Alvarez, we have God Emperor, we got Josh Wallace. How's it going? Hush Al Gould, everybody that's talking in the chat. DizGuy07, you guys are awesome. And we got one more super chat, Shady. You want to jump on that?
Haze 4564 with $5. Hey, do you think Insomniac had initially had a September release, but then changed it because of Starfield?
You know what?
I'm going to go with no. I'm saying no. I think that they just picked a date that they think and feel confident that they could hit. I personally thought that watching that footage from the PlayStation Showcase, the game needed work. It doesn't look like a PlayStation 5 exclusive game. I don't see massive differences between the previous games and this one. I don't. So I thought it needed a bit of work, and I don't think it's hiding from Starfield at all. I think they chose a day that they feel they can comfortably make without having to delay again, and it's a little bit closer to, you know, that Christmas window. September is still kind of light for a lot of games when we're talking about the holidays here. It's really that October, November. So I don't think they're hiding at all. They drop themselves right in the middle of the, you know, the action, really.
I will say I don't think so either. I don't think they did it, but I am finding it kind of funny that October is this stacked. Like, I mean, we got Spider-Man 2, we got Lords of the Fallen, we have Assassin's Creed, we have Alan Wake 2. There's a bunch of games, and then usually around beginning November, end of October, there is a Call of Duty. There's a bunch of games coming out. So I do see that a lot of people, like during the September year, like Spider-Man released in early September the first time. A couple games do release in September. A lot of people are giving that Bethesda game a wide berth of their release. And I'm not going to say that they're doing it on purpose because of that. I think they do need more time with it. But I wouldn't be surprised. I mean, look at what's happening right now. I don't want to get too deep into it, but look at what's happening right now with Final Fantasy, how they're reporting Final Fantasy 16 pre-order numbers are so low. I mean, what do you expect is going to happen when you go toe-to-toe with Tears of the Kingdom, Jedi Fallen Order, and then the biggest game to me of the year, Diablo 4, which is Blizzard? People fucked around and found out when you mess with Blizzard. I'm sorry. I feel like the industry forgot how big Blizzard is and how big Diablo is. So I think they are giving, I wouldn't say it's a big reason why they made it this date. I would say it's about 30 to 20% of the reason. I think they kind of look at it strategically and we're like, hey, Starfield's going to be massive. We already know. Let's not mess around, because if anybody remembers what happened to Titanfall 2, what happened to Tomb Raider when it released around a Bethesda game, they got buried. That's just it. Hargeet, what do you think, man?
Yeah, I mean, if you're talking specifically about the sales numbers issue, yeah, I mean, that's an issue that they've chosen to make for themselves. First, they put it on PS5 only, not even PC, and PS5, the install base just isn't there. I mean, how much attach rate do you expect to get for this? You have to be realistic, right? And if you're going to go after one platform and not have it on at least PC, right, where you have like 1 billion players, right? Okay, at least you'd get something there. They decided to do this to themselves. On top of
Big
that,
time.
People have gotten to the point of saying, I don't know if this game's going to be good until I actually get a review. And, you know, that's just becoming more and more of a thing. And, you know, certain games have put out demos and put out, like, you know, Diablo had like several months of, you can try this game, and the buzz was fantastic for it. And so it took off, and then the reviews were also fantastic for it, right? Mm-hmm. Tears of the Kingdom is Tears of the Kingdom. It's freaking Zelda. It was going to sell no matter what, right? And then Jedi, again, like, people just, like, I don't know if people pre-ordered it or not, but those reviews were good. They were good, so people bought it. So, you know, people buy those things. Like, I don't know, and to expect that Final Fantasy was just going to continue its path, a lot of people don't like the new direction of Final Fantasy that are Final Fantasy fans. They want the turn-based, not the action. And this is going farther into the action mode, right? This is far more, you know...
hack and slash now.
Hack and slash, yeah, exactly.
Exactly, right? They brought the person in from, what's that series? The Devil May Cry. They brought the person that does combat for Devil May Cry into this. And, well, it feels like it was like Devil May Cry, like Final Fantasy, right?
Well, didn't they say God of War was more of their focus, like trying to get to that type of combat?
Inspiration, Zucker, I believe is the word.
Yeah, an inspiration for it. Yeah, and unfortunately that also just pushes away from the core fan base that does not want that, right? So It is what it is. They'll find out, like, if the reviews are good, maybe it'll get some pickup there. But ultimately, you're not gonna how much do you want to get for attach rate? 10% would be like 4 million, 5 million. Like, assuming by that time that like this is coming out in the month, right? Like,
well, I mean, but do you think this affected? Do you think this thing that's happening to Final Fantasy? Do you think it affected Spider-Man's release date? Do you think Insomniac chose that because of Starfield?
No, I mean, like, they're plotting themselves further back in the holiday season. Like, gamers aren't made of money. Some are, most aren't, and you're risking the fact that your audience might, all of a sudden run out and buy one or two holiday games on something that comes out first. And when you're waiting for a bunch of other big holiday games to drop before you drop your own, it's a little bit of confidence there too. Like, I think Sony is all in on Spider-Man 2. They think they got a good game. They think they got a hit. I don't think they're running from anybody necessarily. They're on two different consoles, completely different ecosystems.
Could have
every gamer doesn't play every game, that type of thing. You just look at the sales of any game. You don't have everyone playing everything. So I thought there's room. There's room. I just don't think they're running. They're not running with Spider-Man.
You don't think so, Hargeet?
I don't know that that's entirely accurate. And the reason I say that is they could have done it in September if they wanted to crunch enough to do it, right? Which is what they were planning to do, and then they pushed it out. Now, it could be, you're right, that Insomniac just said, we're not ready, we need another month. I think they actually did run away from Starfield.
Really?
Because look, Starfield is going to be big no matter what you do because it's going to be on PC. And Bethesda games do a lot on PC. They just do.
They do. They're massive.
Everyone who has a PlayStation doesn't also play PC. Like, we have a lot of people out here that game.
Spider-Man 2 will not be on
for all these to do well.
Right, but Spider-Man 2 specifically will not be on PC, right?
No,
and
that's
feeling
just because
I think that's Shady's argument is that it's a different gamer. So the people on PC are going to stay there, and then the people that play on PlayStation aren't really on PC. So it's not going to affect it. But I think you're saying that it's going to affect the people that have a PC and a PlayStation 5. They're going to go with Starfield first. But I also think that one thing we're not talking about that we don't say is that Starfield's going to be on Game Pass. So technically, if it does come out around the same time, Starfield on PC Game Pass can help people get both games. The only thing I think that is a barrier between those things is the fact it's just time. Right now, Final Fantasy is huge. Diablo is huge. The games that are happening right now, Tears of the Kingdom is hundreds of hours. Diablo is hundreds of hours. Final Fantasy is going to be 100 hours. Like, these games are big. I think it's more of a time restraint.
Both games equals Zalker. Both games, both Spider-Man and Starfield, let's say you wanted to play them both exactly the same.
Don't ask me this question.
They launched on the same day. Which one would you play first and why?
I would play Spider-Man first.
Why?
Because I can beat it.
There you go.
So I can beat that.
Can be beat in a week, right? A week
or a weekend, even honestly.
6-7 hours a day at most. You're looking at, and you can bust through it. If you just do the story hardcore, you're looking at a weekend. These are the Sony games. So there's room for a fan if he wants to and can afford to go out, get both games, blow out Spider-Man 2 in a great gaming week, and then spend the next year playing Starfield. Like, games don't need to come out swinging day one to be a success in the long run, right?
Unintended swinging. Look, the other part of this, though, is they still need to be able to sell enough consoles to get enough attach rate to make this thing a success, right? So the running away from it isn't just that, right? So first, you want to get out of the way of that. That's going to be a zeitgeist game for a bit, right? So there's that. There's other games coming too. We probably shouldn't just discount that. But they need to build up inventory and then say, hey, we're going to have a Spider-Man bundle, PS5, whatever, Slim, whatever it is, right?
Yeah, whatever it's called, yeah.
Right, and we're going to have like freaking 10 million of these things. And we're going to dump it on the market, right? And it may just be a timing thing of when can you do that, right? And because if they bundle it in and you have like 7 million bundles, that's 7 million copies sold, right? And then you get another whatever 3, 4, 5 million from normal attach rate of whatever's out there. That's what they're looking for, right? They want to hit that 10
If it was Sony, I would pull every console off the shelves that isn't bundled with
100%,
Spider-Man
right?
this holiday, right? Spider-Man bundles only during the holiday.
Exactly.
And there you go.
That's
There's your 10 million sold.
Right? They want to get that staged. So I don't know how much it is just for, like September they could have done it versus October. I think it's more putting everything together so that they can get good sales and get through that holiday and sell a ton of. Like, how many did they sell last holiday? It was like 7.1 million or something ridiculous, right?
I mean, like that just last holiday. I think in January and February and
Right?
March, like last quarter, they sold like I think it was like 7-8 million or something like that. It was insane.
Exactly.
That many
They're
consoles.
looking at the same thing. They could dump 10 million consoles, right, and say we're bundling Spider-Man with it, and boom, you just get 10 million sales right there. I think that's what they're trying to do, right? So
It's not necessarily running from Starfield then as much as making sure all your ducks are lined up before shooting down, right?
Right? So get out of the way of those things. Let the zeitgeist go there, and then say we're going to be a big release here.
We have a super chat that is about this
Going into
topic
the
also from
But look at the
Phase23
lands.
Brooklyn, man. Hey,
Go ahead. Sorry. Hey.
from Phase 23 Brooklyn. The
Do it.
man has something to say.
Do
Go
it.
for it.
1999. Starfield is a new IP, boys. Publishers are not running from Starfield. Spider-Man 2 is going against a lot of games in October, which was kind of my point also. I don't think they're running when you go and you plop yourself into the middle of the gridiron and say, this is a safe spot to sit.
Yeah, I don't think it's specific
going deeper into the holiday.
Sony wants the holiday, right?
Yeah,
So
if they were launching like right before Christmas, December 19th, I'd say they're running. They're hiding. But they're not.
Yeah,
October is right in the middle.
It's not that. No, I think they want to let that fizzle and say we own October, November, December, and we're going to dump 10 million consoles. I'm just pulling that number out of there, but
when Call of
I
Duty
think
comes
that's
out,
the number they're
real.
What was that?
Right? Call of Duty drops around early November, right? They're going to own November.
Call of Duty's a perennial annual thing, and we can
It
just
still sells like crazy.
It does, but it doesn't detract from the sales of other games, right? So
you're right.
In that case, I just push that aside, right? If it was like, hey, this comes in and everything else in the holiday just never sells, like that doesn't happen. So I'm not worried about Call of Duty, and I don't think Sony's worried about Call of Duty either. They're marketing it anyway. So
I think other games are more worried. I think the funny thing is, like, I don't think Xbox and Sony are worried about each other with these two games. I think Starfield is going to be big no matter what.
Markets,
and I think they're distinct markets, but I also think Spider-Man 2 is just a massive IP. I think Spider-Man itself is massive, and it's gonna be good. And I think it's gonna come out and it's gonna sell like crazy. Obviously, if they bundle it. And Starfield's Bethesda, so it is gonna be going well. And we actually have another super chat. You want to read that?
Gallons, man, for $2, and he wants to know were either of us at the Game Fest show today. Tell him, Hargeet.
Tell him, Hargeet. Were you there?
I was.
front row.
I was in person. Front row.
Front row like a true zealot, peeps.
Yes.
Grinning from ear to ear. Did you jump on because I was like doing the fake Hargeet call on the phone?
No, I didn't realize any of that. I just like turned my computer. I walked in. I'm like, I actually have time. I can go ahead and join.
I literally was like, oh yeah, Hargeet, and then, blah, blah, and then I hung it up as like a fake hang up, and then I heard your voice, and I was like, I don't have a soundboard of his voice, and then you're like, hey, I was like, oh shit, it's fucking him. I was like, he's here.
15 seconds earlier, it would have sounded like you actually put the quote unquote phone call onto the stream. It was that close. The timing was unbelievable, man.
It was.
But yeah, no, I was there. It was fun. I actually went to Cogs set us up. We got invited to the after party, so we got to go up and hang out with all the people there, and got to talk to a whole bunch of people. So
can I ask you?
Yeah,
because I feel like we're getting towards the unless there's any other games you guys want to talk. I feel like we went crazy.
There's plenty of games that are interesting. I don't know if you talked about any of these games or not, but there was an announcement of the new Prince of Persia, right?
We talked about that. I'm so excited for it.
That looks pretty cool. And then let's see.
You mentioned the Sonic Superstars, which looks like a fantastic 2D.
The Sonic one,
2.5D
the
Sonic
game. You haven't talked about that. That was really cool.
No, I did not talk about that one. Go ahead.
Dude, that's so good. But yeah, there was this other one that was kind of weird called Banisher's Ghost of New Eden.
Oh yes, that's the one. I couldn't find it. I was scrolling.
Yeah, so Don't Nod usually makes more like adventure games, like was it Tell Me Why? I think that was the Xbox one, and they had the Life is Strange series. I think that's them. So this is an interesting departure because it was a bit more actiony. But it looked cool. It looked like interesting. It still had that Don't Nod story thing where you can make choices and it'll affect how things go, right? But it seemed like there was more action to it. I think at least.
I think it's from the creators of Vampire.
So has Don't Nod done Vampire as well?
I'm reading it right now. Actually, let me find it. Yeah.
That's right. They did do Vampire.
They did do Vampire. Yeah. So there's that one. The other one, Shady, you didn't bring it up, bud. You were talking about that. You thought it looked pretty decent. Sandland.
And I got a couple games actually that we haven't mentioned at all that I actually thought looked really good. And Sandland from the creator of Dragon Ball, I thought had a really cool looking art style. It looked really tight. Looks like a big open world, kind of co-op. I'm not sure if it's going to be like a looter, brawler, shooter, story-driven or what, but it just looks like a lot of hectic action going down, a lot of interesting vehicle gameplay also. I just thought it was neat, like, new IP from someone who's made something that is just massive. I'm not huge into Dragon Ball personally, but I know people that are, and they were hyped. It's just like, whoa, seeing them kind of take a step back, like, what is this?
You're just sitting there confused. You're like, what?
A little confused, but I did think it looked fun. Party Animals, we saw again. We got a date this time, September 20th. That's a Game Pass day one.
Yeah.
You're playing as, the little animal dudes brawling each other in your little death matches. I think that'll be, got some charm to it. One announcement that we saw twice, actually, during this showcase, twice this came up, was the Samsung commercial. They call their Game Hub. Samsung Game Hub. On new Samsung TVs, we got the Game Hub with just your controller and an internet connection, no console in the ad, no console needed, and they were showing off games running on GeForce Now, running off of Luna, and running off of Game Pass.
It was so weird that they were like, no console needed. Awesome. No console needed, clicking on an Xbox icon. And then, like, that was you could tell they did that on purpose. Like, it's like, hey, you can play Xbox games without the Xbox console. You just got to get the Samsung thing and click it, and you can play through the cloud and just get a controller, and you're all set. Something that they've been advertising. The CMA is going to eat this up. It's over. The deal's getting blocked. They're like, look at this advertisement.
Is huge. Samsung is one of, if not the top TV provider. All their new sets are going to have this. Like, we got some guys in the community predicting this is the last actual console generation because the future is coming quick for us. It's coming quick, boys, and they're taking our consoles because everyone's TV is going to be able to, stream games, but not everyone wants to stream games. So we'll see how it goes. If it works really well, I think it's something pretty special when you can, in theory, be playing Cyberpunk 2027 on overdrive ray tracing mode on your TV. That is pretty cool stuff. And that was the only commercial that we saw twice, 2 times.
It was on there twice. I thought my stream got messed up when it came on again. I was like, did I go back?
No,
and then I was like, no,
this is the
same fucking thing.
It wasn't an announcement, guys. That was an ad.
Yeah, no, we know that's what we're saying. We're saying that's the only ad that was there twice.
It was the only one that was there 2 times, and I thought it was actually kind of neat that you get to play more than just Game Pass through Azure. You've also got the GeForce Now and the Luna. I thought that was pretty cool.
Other game that we didn't talk about and that we saw that it's being pushed and a lot of people are excited for is Alan Wake 2. I thought the gameplay looked okay. I thought it looked insane. The graphics and all that. Go ahead.
Alan Wake over there on stage. Mm-hmm. Yep, we got to meet him too.
Oh, nice. I'm not that excited for Alan Wake 2, man. Wait, did you say you met Sam Lake?
Yeah, we met him. We talked to him for a bit.
Hargeet flexing. Yeah, sure. Hung out. No big deal.
Thing, right? We were at this after party. A lot of those people were up there, right? So we got to talk to a bunch of these people, right? So,
I think it looks pretty good. We didn't know about that character swapping, two-player thing. I think it would have been neat if it was a potential co-op experience to be had there, but you're just swapping.
Yeah.
So I hope that I hope it can be really good. I liked the first Alan Wake. It surprised me.
I did not like the first one. I don't like Remedy games all that much. I thought Quantum Break was okay at best, and I got like 900 achievement points on that damn thing. But overall, I thought Alan Wake, I thought it looked insane. It kind of reminded me of like what we're seeing in like these over-the-shoulder, really slow, almost horror games where you look at like even Dead Space, you look at Callisto, you look at Resident Evil. Like it's very reminiscent of those. It's like I've seen this before. I'm okay with it. It's cool, but I can do something. I don't know. I just don't care enough for Alan Wake and Remedy. But it is something that I'm like. It looks so good that I'm like I kind of want to check this out, so to speak, because of the graphics. It kind of reminds me of Callisto Protocol, because Callisto Protocol is the same way. I don't really care, but it looks so cool that I just want to check it out. I want to kill some stuff and have the gore, but either way, I think it looks okay. And I just want to say one more time, or not one more, but I got to keep this up. Everybody in the chat, thank you for being here. Honestly, Jason Max, Cruel Wraith, Dreadpool is in here, Green Goblin, so many people. Thank you so much, and hit that like button. And Shady, you want to grab it? You want to grab that?
Of course I do. It's once again Dustin Gowans. I hope I'm saying your last name right, bud. With another $5. Awesome. I had floor seats, but not front row. It was my first showcase. Too bad E3 was canceled. Are you going to be going to any more shows, Hargeet?
Yeah, I have the Fan Fest all lined up to go. So, and that's the only other show that we have that's that you can actually go to, right?
Yeah.
Everything else is digital. So yeah, I'll be going to that. And yeah, this is E3, by the way. This is it.
This is E3.
Yeah. We're trying to figure out if we can do. They actually do have play days. So we're trying to see if we can get that going.
Cool.
It's tomorrow and Saturday. So they do have the ability for us to go in and play some of the games that are coming up. So we'll see if we can get in. So that might be something we can pull off.
Boys, we're also forgetting, I mean, there's one reveal coming fresh off the heels of an absolute banger that recently dropped, Gollum. The new Lord of the Rings dwarf game.
There was
was the crowd hyped out of their minds for that one? It did not look that good. And considering Gollum just like snuffed out Lord of the Rings hype video game style, I don't know what to say.
It was kind of mixed. Like, I don't know if it's... We don't know now, right? This is kind of the thing. Like, when you see something like that, you kind of need to see what the game actually is more before you can actually make a determination. So that one was kind of mixed. I don't know if you already talked about it. Liza P got a release date.
Yeah, September 20th, right?
Yep. So that's coming out in September.
There's a demo right now.
Yeah, and there's a demo available. And then, what was I going to say? Oh, Throne and Liberty. I don't know if that's something that resonated with people, but that's a Amazon game. But it will be coming to Xbox and PlayStation, so and PC, of course.
Is it just me, or are we getting a lot of medieval?
It is very like there's that one, and then
like that motif is coming up like a dozen times now, kind of thing.
Warhaven was another one that fit that criteria of medieval swords kind of thing, and it reminded me of Chivalry or whatever that's called, Chivalry 2, which I love that game. I have so many hours in it, but again, it was kind of the same like medieval kind of thing, and I was kind of done with it. I actually want to kind of come back to the Mordor game really quick. The dwarf one. I love dwarves, first of all. I thought the gameplay was in third person. It looked cool. That game reminds me, it's giving me Deep Rock Galactic, that dwarf game.
Yeah,
it's giving me those vibes in Lord of the Rings lore. That is that game that I was like, this is like Deep Rock, but with actual dwarves from Lord of the Rings, and you're building stuff and you're going and you're fighting things for Moria. I love that stuff, but at the same time, I'm not a big base builder dude, so I was like, this game looks all right.
I don't know. Yeah, and was that was a strategy game, right?
Which one?
That dwarf game.
The Deep Rock. No, the Deep Rock Galactic one is like you go into tunnels, and it's a first-person shooter. You go in the tunnel, gather resources, and then spiders and creatures come and attack you, and you have to extract all your materials to up. Then you get back to your base and you upgrade, and then you just keep repeating that gameplay loop.
Yeah, no, I'm trying to remember if in that trailer at the end of it was kind of like areas that you have to control.
Deep Rock Galactic. Is that what it's called? I don't even fucking remember. I suck. Yeah. The chat's like, bro. But yeah, Shady, we have a few more, buddy. You want to grab them?
Hey, man, they came rolling in, which we appreciate, of course. Deaf Side with the $2 flat. Zalker, you're a toddler. Keep it up, boys.
Thanks, boo.
We will, and Zalker indeed is a toddler.
I try.
Face 23 Brooklyn back with $1.99. Thoughts on Venom not being Eddie Brock? We did somewhat address this earlier. I'm convinced they're going to go real hard, flip the script. Mary Jane is going to be Venom. It's not going to be, what's his name there? Green Goblin guy. That's what I hear is the...
Harry Osborn. Harry
Osborn is probably going to be him, I guess. I think they should have stuck with Eddie Brock, man. I was arguing with Zalker before the show that the symbiote suit on its own is just like a symbiote thing. It's got its own little personality, but it blends with the human that it is with. That's why it's a different Peter Parker when he's wearing it than it is when Eddie Brock is wearing it. They're both
they're different, but I get what you're saying. It is different. They do bind with the human, but it has its own personality that's infecting the person's personality. It's weird.
It's heavily influenced. Eddie Brock was a selfish prick. He wanted stuff for himself. He was a bit of a gray, leaning towards dark character. So his representation of wearing the suit was dark. I think that it influences them a lot. Clearly, we saw when Peter was wearing it, it made him, a little more brash and dangerous and violent. And
well, in the gameplay, they showed that, right? He was a little more aggressive.
Yeah,
he was like
angry,
throwing citizens, like, I saved you, get on the floor. Like, he just fucking like, get the hell out of here. I got shit to do.
As a semi-casual, no, scratch that. As the true Spider-Man fan,
semi-casual, you heard it here first.
As a semi-casual Spider-Man fan, I think they should have stuck with Eddie Brock. Myself.
Well, we'll find out, right? They might have had good reason.
You think they lied to us through their teeth on stage?
No, he's saying they think he's saying he think they have good reason. Like maybe it's an original story.
Good reason. So we'll let it play out. I mean, they've done a reasonably good job with those, right? The stories have been pretty good.
The Spider-Man stories, I will say, are very good. They actually are pretty true to the characters. They don't do anything cringe, which I really enjoy. And everything about it, like I've really just. They've had some insane in the game story beats where I was like, yo, and especially at the end, if anybody hasn't played the new Spider-Man from 2018 or the older, whatever it is, 5 years ago, if you haven't played that, the ending actually really surprised me. They took it to a direction. I was like, yo, the fuck? Like, I was like, yo, they actually went there with this. And I don't want to say it for spoilers, but I trust Insomniac. Especially with these characters, because they made Miles Morales actually like okay and have like some moments where he's like getting messed up.
That's awesome.
No, I mean, like, because I'm not a big Miles Morales dude. I enjoy him in the comics, but in the game, I enjoy him more. That's the weird thing, is that I'm like they make him pretty cool in my head.
Overall, you guys aren't worried about it not being Eddie Brock yourselves.
No, not too much.
Okay, well, considering you're a Spider-Man comic fanatic, that says a lot.
We'll see how it's like, and
we'll see what they do with it, right? So
yeah, and I just gotta say thank you everybody for being here, and they're just keep rolling in, Shady man. Let's get them because they're on topic.
Dustin Gowns, he's got the questions, man. He needs to know from our one and only Hargeet over here. Well, I wish it was one and only. The man's on every other podcast, but what are you gonna do? Dustin Gowans, $5. In your opinion, is it worth him trying to get into the Play Days or the Xbox show, and is there even any way to do so? That was going to you, Hargeet.
Yeah, so the thing with Playdays is it's intended for media to report on what you're playing, right? So as long as that is your goal, then yeah, absolutely, right? So, and that's what we're going to try to do is like try to play the games and figure out what we can report on and say, hey, this is what our experiences are, right? So that's the intent. If that's what you want to do, sure. I don't know how easy it is to get in, so it's really intended for media, right? And content creators, obviously, but yeah.
Fair enough. And then Def Side comes swinging in with the Canadian toonie. Well, it's not a Canadian toonie, it's just $2, but you know what I'm saying? With $2, he just got in, but what do you zealots rate the show? Personally, I give it like between maybe a 7.5, so like a 7.25. That's me.
What about you, Hargeet? I'll let you go last actually because you were actually there. Yeah. I'm gonna give it a solid 7. I'll just keep it at a 7. I thought it was really good. Space Marine looked awesome to me, and honestly, the biggest surprise that I was like, I want to play this was the Ubisoft game, the Prince of Persia one, the side scroller. I thought that looked a lot of fun. Like it's something I will really enjoy. Then Remnant got me hyped to play with Shady and a bunch of other buddies that I think that looks cool. But a couple things, but the closeout really dampened it because I'm not big on Final Fantasy, so it didn't really do anything for me. So I'm going to give it about a 7. You know what? I'm going to put a poll for the chat so they can vote too. So let me get that going. Hargeet, go ahead.
I'm going to give it a solid 7.5, actually. From 7.25 up to 7.5 now. I'm looking at the list of games in front of me, and it's like, there's more here than not that I would play.
Yeah, and I don't know if we've talked about the Fortnite one, but no, I'm giving it an 8. I think it is pretty good. The list of games. Now, look, you have to also look at it from my perspective. I like a lot of different games and a lot of variety. And I'm sure when people see some of these games, they're like, why is this here? Like, okay. And I got that, by the way, from some of the folks that went with me, right? Because they'll skip a lot of those. But for me, like 90% of these things are things I'm going to try, right? So for me, I'm happy with most of it, right? So I liked it. I thought it was pretty good. And I did that rating towards what Sony had put out. Again, if that was the Keighley show, if the Sony showcase was the Keighley show, I'd also give it an 8. It was really good, maybe even higher. But because it's the showcase for why I should have a PlayStation, which I don't have, it is a horrendous showcase. And this was a great multi-plat showcase. PC games, Xbox, PlayStation games.
That's a good point.
It did a very good job going all over the place with mobile games, right? So I'm like, and I like the fact that they're showing, hey, mobile games, they're not a joke, right? You're getting
much better. Yeah, they actually look decent these days, don't they?
They're getting good. And in 5 years, they're going to look like a Series S. So just keep that in mind. Like, this is where they're going. And so I liked it a lot. I liked the direction. I liked the pacing. I liked it started with a bang and it kept going, right? So there was a few little areas where there were ads, and the ads were very minimal, which was also awesome. The parts I didn't like, I mentioned, which was the movie trailer and the TV show trailer. I'm like, I don't care about this stuff here. Please just show me games. But, it is what it is. He has to pay the bills. And those things are going to be on a Keighley showcase. That's just part and parcel.
Sorry, everybody. It's only four. It's only four options I have. So everybody's like, can we get it below a 7? Because right now nobody's at like a 10 or a 9. It's 25% at 8, and then the rest 76+% is at 7. But go ahead, Shady.
I was going to say, speaking of paying the bills, Face 23 Brooklyn again with the $1.99 wants to know, Hargeet, did you cringe at the last thing being the Final Fantasy VII Part 2?
No, actually, I was pretty happy that they put it there. That was the part that I was very confused about. Was like, why did Sony let this be on Keighley's stage?
Yeah,
instead that would have totally brought their freaking showcase up, right? That's a massive game for them. Why was that not like the ender for their freaking showcase? I'm
Square had something to say about that overall, more than Sony.
I mean, they must have done something. And, Square is looking for money from every angle, right? So they must have paid a lot. Like, Keighley must have paid a lot to get that as the ender for this showcase. But no, 100% no. I thought it looked really good. It looks really good. I have no issue with that being there. I will say Colt was not happy.
Oh, I knew right away.
No, none of the cringe.
But to me, I thought that was fantastic. I was just confused as to why that wasn't the ender for.
Can I be honest? I thought the ending, when he's like, ending that you don't want to miss. I know Final Fantasy is big. I personally was thinking it was going to be the fucking Elden Ring DLC. That's what I thought it was going to be, or something.
Even when he was introducing it, I thought maybe it was the Elden Ring DLC. I thought so too.
Yeah.
But I mean, Final Fantasy is huge, and let's be honest, 7 is probably their prime. It was the top of Final Fantasy.
Their pinnacle.
And having that remake Part 2, it's a big deal, and I get it. And like, so I did not cringe at all. I was like, wow, they actually have this here. I can't believe they have it here. So that was the only thing that came out of it for me. It was like, why is this not on the Sony showcase, right? Because when we were going in, we were told there was no big Sony announcement. That's a huge Sony announcement. Like, that's great.
Does that
Jeff
mean
Keighley is money-hatting trailers for money-hatted PlayStation exclusives?
Did they say that's going to PC?
No, it is not. It's 100% PS5 only.
So that's so fucking dude. That's so yeah. I get what people are saying. Like Sony fans, like, right? They were like, maybe there's a reveal at Summer Game Fest. Well, this is kind of a big reveal at Summer Game Fest.
We're saying, though, this wasn't of the first party coming out going hard, right?
Pretty sure even that one is. I'm going to check that, but I'm pretty sure even Rebirth is just PS5.
But Shady, we have another one.
Of Dustin Gowans again with the $5.
Appreciate you, Dustin.
He would like to know, Hargeet, he says, just thanks for answering all of his questions, and he hopes you enjoy the rest of your time at the Play Days and at the Xbox show.
Well, thank you. I will.
Yeah, I know he will. Can I ask you, like, outside of the show, Hargeet, my friend, my good buddy, I wish I was there smiling with you at the game show. I'm not gonna lie, I would have lost my shit because I love Nicolas Cage. I love his movies. I don't give a fuck what anybody says. Nicolas Cage is a G. I would have been like, dude, I'm so down for this. I don't give a shit about the show anymore. Like, no, I just enjoy him as like an actor. I think he's hilarious. What can are you excited for the Xbox showcase? Can you say, since talking to some people, how, I know you can't say anything, but from levels, do you feel confident even more? I mean, you just had breakfast with Aaron Greenbook.
They are confident.
They're feeling confident. You think they're walking around with a swagger, some strutting going on?
Yes.
Do you think the Sony showcase made them more confident, or are they just confident because their show, they feel like their show is good, even if the Sony showcase was good, so to speak?
It's not like Aaron could really tell us how he felt about that conference.
Yeah, I know he can't, but I'm just saying, like, I'm just wondering how you feel.
Didn't go hard on it at that breakfast table there, start ripping into it like a true Xbox zealot would expect out of him.
I think they already knew what they had, and they're ready to go, and so I think that they will have a good showcase. But I'm still tempering my expectations. I want to see it. The thing that's most important to me, if they're going to show me the games I've already seen, they better have a release date next to them, otherwise they failed. So I need to have release dates. I want to know what's coming in the next year. Tell me what you're actually releasing, right? If we end up, sorry, go ahead. What was that?
That's a fair ask, I would say.
Yeah, I'd say so too. I'd say that's pretty fair.
Because look, I don't want another. Hey, I'm going to show you yet another cinematic trailer. We know we're not going to get that, but it'll be an in-game cinematic engine, whatever. I don't care. I want a release date, right? So if you're going to show me Avowed, tell me it's coming out in March. If you're going to show me Fable, it's coming. Fine, right? I want to see those, right? So I kind of want to know when these things are coming out, because otherwise it's just okay, hurry up and wait, and yeah, whatever, right? So that's what I'm looking for this showcase. They have to show me games that are coming out, right? Because that is the big deal, right? This has been their headache.
I've been getting a lot of DMs about what's going to be there. People giving me leaks. Like, this is what happens. There's so many leaks, and I'm like, I don't care what's true or not. I've been getting some, and apparently Jez thinks that he's not DMing me or anything. This was in a video. He was talking to Rand, obviously, because they have that podcast. Jez thinks Hellblade 2 is coming this year. And a couple other people I've heard think that.
Fantastic.
Yeah, so I think that's pretty cool. If Hellblade 2 is coming this year with Starfield and Motorsport, I'm only going to imagine what spring looks like, because that would be, to me, I think maybe Avowed is coming out in spring. Because if they are confident to bring out Hellblade this year, and who knows, maybe they don't care. They're like, just get it out, man. When it's ready, let's go.
If any of these rumors are true that Gears is actually being announced.
The Gears Collection or the Gears 6?
6 and Collection.
If both of them are announced, I'm going to lose my shit, because I love Gears, and I want the Collection on PC.
I want Gears to be announced for next fall then, right? That should be their fall game. And then that leaves the other 2 quarters for Fable. Somewhere in there, Fable should come out.
Well, do you mean like Gears 6 next fall, and then Gears Collection like spring?
Gears Collection can come out anytime.
Why? Yeah, okay.
Right? But Gears 6, because that's the new game. I want that to be next fall. But Gears Collection can come out this year. I don't care when. Gears Collection can come out whenever they're ready, right? Because that's really the old games, and it's for people who want to still play the old games. That's fair. I have no problem. I think it's a great idea. But Gears 6 is the big game, and I think if that could be next fall's game, that would be awesome. And then, somewhere in between, we want to have Avowed, Fable, and then any other games that are ready to go, right? But if Hellblade is coming this year, then I think it's a success, because I was expecting 2 games to come out beyond what we already had. Hi-Fi Rush was one of them. And if Hellblade comes out, fantastic. That's a success for me. I'm happy with the year, right? Assuming all the other ones came, Redfall came out, unfortunately. And and Starfield should hopefully make it September 6th.
Had to bring it up, didn't you?
And Motorsports hopefully will be coming out sometime in the fall, right? So if those come out along with Hellblade, I'm happy. Now, if they had the ABK deal and Diablo came out under Xbox, that would have been a huge win. That would be the year. I don't care.
If it was in Game Pass, it would have been huge. Like, I mean, they just announced it's the fastest selling Blizzard game of all time. Really, people think
this deal before the holiday season and get Diablo in Game Pass, it'll still be absolutely massive to get people into that ecosystem for the holidays. Like, don't kid yourselves.
Well, I'm glad to hear that you think that they're very confident, because at some point I'm just like thinking in my head, like, I'm just like, man, like, how can you not be confident about what you have? Like if you think about I'm not saying that they aren't. What I'm saying is all the announcements that they have, everything that they have under their belt that we know about, like just that we know about, it's kind of insane. Like, if they can open the show with Avowed, show some awesome gameplay, go through some stuff, and then close it with maybe some Fable gameplay or Fable in. I got in a lot of shit for people in RDX, Hargeet. I think you were there, right? Like, I was basically saying, like, I want gameplay. I want this from Fable. I don't want an engine. I just think that you need to market this a certain way, because it has been one of the worst kept secrets at first. It was getting hyped. Fable does have a name to it, because I love the first 2. I didn't really like the third one, but either way, I want to see them market this beyond anything else they've ever marketed, because I think it could be a huge franchise, because it's going to be that third. Right? Give us something.
Yeah, if Fable is coming out next year, then there's zero reason for it to not show gameplay. Mm-hmm. You have to, right? If it's coming next year, I don't even want to see if it doesn't have gameplay. If it's coming out in 25, I'll excuse in-engine with this is 2025. Fair enough. But then I need next year's roadmap. What are you releasing besides that then? right? Something else has to come out next year.
I would say actually, if it's 2025, don't put it there. Don't put it there. Don't put it in the show. I say they need to wait for gameplay.
But it's gonna be there, right? Because we already have the tease. I think it's
Jeff Grubb went. Jeff Grubb went
CGI,
back.
Then you have in-engine, then you have gameplay. That's the steps. You crawl, then you walk, then you run, boys. We got room for a in-engine trailer, I think. Am I crazy?
I think you're a little crazy. I don't think you need to take the same steps as everything else. I think Fable is a little unique, and I think that they've put so much, not just money, but talent into this, and they've created literally a AAA studio from the ground up since 2017, where they have multiple hundreds of people working. And to me, one of the best directors on it in Fulton, the guy that helped create what Forza Horizon is, which is a staple of 90 meta racing open world games. So he's the one on this.
Do you want that to be a fall game, or do you want that to be like a spring game? Do you have
I would expect this. I think it's 2025 spring, and I think that they should bring it out in the spring, because if you look at what's happening, Call of Duty dominates the holiday season, but when you look at spring's had some of the top selling games, man. Like look at Hogwarts Legacy, look at Elden Ring, look at look at Tears of the Kingdom right now. And then if you look at what's happening now with Diablo, you can get a game in the beginning of the year and make massive sales. But again, the sales don't really matter. It's about what you get in engagement for Game Pass.
But that's the same thing, sales or engagement. It's really getting the mind share, right? You need to get the mind share at the right time. So that's an interesting point, and if that's the case, then they could do an in-game now, and then next showcase next year they could do the gameplay, and then it comes out. You're saying it's 25, right? Spring 25, right? So then that makes it is a potential then.
Yeah, I think so too.
Fair to them, right?
But I'm looking forward to it.
So likely to be there.
And I know a lot of people, like I've actually had some people message me and they were like, "Yo, I think I'm done watching and listening to stuff. I just want to be surprised now," because we're so close, right? We're a few days away, and a lot of people love talking about it, and a lot of people are excited for it. I'm looking forward to the show. I don't even want to even talk about it anymore because I feel like we did our predictions last week. So, I just want to see it. But go ahead, Hargeet.
Yeah. So on the Summer Game Fest, did you talk about Fortnite?
Oh, Sir Shady, did we? I don't think we did.
Did we which? Sorry, my bad. I was
Fortnite. So that was one of the ones that was a big surprise because of what they did, right? So I don't know if you guys saw that, right?
The Optimus Prime.
Yeah, that was a big. That was a big
crowd pleaser.
Crowd pleaser. Yeah.
Oh, nice. I mean, listen, Shady. I'm gonna give credit to this zealot. He got me so attached to Fortnite. I started playing it December. I played it before, obviously, but I started finally playing the no build mode in December, and I've just been utterly hooked. I've gone through both battle passes now. I'm just enjoying it.
Yeah, I only started playing when the no build hit, actually. I got into it no build. I played it a little bit before with build, and I did not like it. But once no build hit, I checked it out, and it grabbed me instantly. The skin game took me over, man. I'm not going to tell you how much I've spent in it. Too much. Too many skins. Over 100 skins. Like 120 skins. I'll let them do the math however they'd like. It's a lot, man. And I recall trying to get you to, Mike, just play one match with your boy Shady. Just one match, Zalker. Come on in. And then I hassled you because you're, wearing your default trash.
I had no skins at all, dude.
None. And we're not going to talk about how much money you spent either. Being a skin-hating, non-cosmetic wearing dude. You certainly flipped quick. It was a hell of an experience just on my end, watching you have such a turnaround on your opinion of the game, your opinion of battle passes and skins. It was funny for me to watch. I loved it. It's been a great time over the last 2 seasons playing with you. And the new season launches tomorrow, which is absolutely incredible. That actually might be my favorite news. I knew it was coming anyways, but I love Fortnite no build. I go hard.
I think they have the best battle pass.
Yeah, we just rank up that battle pass as fast as we can. Last season I started playing some of the new creative modes because they released that new Unreal editor for Fortnite, and some of the stuff that these guys are making is mind-blowing. It doesn't look like Minecraft anymore, or Warcraft. Well, Jesus, I'm out to lunch. It doesn't look like Fortnite. I'm just naming off games as a service. It doesn't look like Fortnite.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I think the Optimus Prime thing is cool.
Ooh, I love jungle stuff.
And they showed a trailer of the build mode, right? I don't know if you guys saw that, right? The
that stuff looks
build.
wicked. You can play some of those now, where you just go into the created modes and you can look up and play some of that.
Yeah, I don't know if it's called build mode, but you know what I'm talking about, right? It's where you can actually use the UE engine that's built into Fortnite.
Yeah, and they create different modes and stuff.
Yeah,
Someone has made essentially a capture the flag that looks like Call of Duty, but you're running around as your character. Like, there's phenomenal work going on here.
Exactly.
And also introduced recently a big financial program where they pay their creators.
Yeah, you can get tipped in the
longer
game.
they play, the more money you make.
Yeah, you could get tipped in the game too. They have like little switches in there that you can like click and like give people money to like buy skins, or just the creator to give them money. I've seen that in some of the creator things I've played. I'm looking forward to it.
Zalker. Riding dinosaurs in a hardcore swampy jungle. It looks great. I think it looks absolutely fantastic.
I think you know what? Hit me up tomorrow, man. I think I'm actually going to jump on for the new season. I want to get I have the battle pass. I'm part of the Fortnite crew, so I'm going to get it anyways. Like, I subscribe. Like, that's how much I love the game. I just think it's really cool. It's become a staple.
Subscription service to Fortnite. You're in it.
I'm a trash bag. Go ahead.
Conversely, Call of Duty also had their season there, and
I saw that.
It was man.
I don't think
I'm down with like an urban, the battle royale being in a more of an urban setting and stuff. I think it looks cool. I'm gonna load it back up and play it for at least a couple of days.
The crowd, but it got some people interested, but it wasn't as big.
I'm gonna say I can't get into that because I'm like, there's just too much to play, and I want to play. I'm glad that Diablo came out, because one, I'm gonna just play that for hundreds of hours. It's not even a fucking joke. People don't understand. I'm gonna put hundreds upon maybe 1,000+ hours into that game. You don't understand how big of a zealot for Blizzard I am. People don't get it. This ABK deal probably means more to me than anyone else in the fucking community. I'm just saying. But I think that playing Diablo and then Fortnite is going to be good enough for me for a little while, because Fortnite I just have fun with it. I enjoy it. And then I do play Rocket League a lot, and I just get everything from Epic Games from them because I play those games a lot. And then I can wait for Jedi Survivor to get the patches it needs. So I feel really confident in that. And honestly, I want to see these shows. I want to see Ubisoft's, and I just can't fucking wait for Xboxes, and I can't even wait for their ones on Tuesday. A little update on life stuff, though, people. I want to try to go live with the boys. Not Hargeet, obviously. He's going to be calling us, secretly while the show's happening. I want to try to go live after the show on Sunday, if you guys can show up and hang out with us. But I did have a family thing happen. Not a little bit, but somebody passed away, so we have some stuff to do, and I'm not too sure. I think we're doing everything Monday, so Sunday should be okay. But, family stuff first always, to me at least. I'm very family and friend first always, no matter what. So, just a heads up. We might be going live hopefully Sunday just to react to it, not during the show, because I want to just sit and enjoy the show. It's going to be probably after the show.
Two more items that came up, well, at least that I thought were interesting, was Immortals had another trailer.
Oh my God, I forgot about that. God,
you're going hard on the promotions for this game.
Yeah, it looked pretty good. But again, that one seems to either resonate with people or totally not resonate with people. Of course, I play everything, right? I will definitely try it out. And eventually, this is coming to Game Pass, right? Because it's EA. So hopefully people will give it a shot, but no pun intended. But
I'm excited to play it in Game Pass. That is a game that I will play, but I won't plop my money down for any sizable amount.
8 months, whatever, it'll be in Game Pass. The other one that was kind of cringy was and I don't know how much people like it or not, was the Xbox special console
Porsche celebration console.
Oh, that was so ugly.
Like, okay,
it looked ugly. You can't buy these. You can kind of win them if you do a draw. Yeah, that wasn't a good segment either.
So yeah, and that was the Xbox part that was there. So, but yeah, so and the console was actually brought on stage. It was literally there in front of me. I actually took a picture of it. But yeah, it's that was the part that was a little like, okay, whatever.
Just so everybody knows, the poll is in. Sorry, it ended. What did you rate the Summer Game Fest? We have 69% gave it a 7, and I know some people wanted to give it lower. Sorry, you only given 4 options. And then we got 23% saying an 8, and then 3% saying 9, and 2% saying a 10 out of 10.
A 10?
So, yeah, some people really liked it.
Yeah, right there. It doesn't matter where video games shown. I loved it. That's a true zealot right there.
That's Shady. That's Hargeet in the front row smiling. I swear you were just smiling the whole time. I was like, I want to hug this fucker. Dude, you're my boy. I was like, this boy's enjoying himself. He don't give a shit.
Exactly right. Like, the whole point of this is to have fun, right? So, and for me, like, announcements of new games, like, this is great. I like it.
Yeah,
so,
it's awesome.
Yeah, it was good. But yeah, I think that was pretty much most of the.
That was pretty much most of it, and we actually even talked about like the Xbox stuff. I mean, Shady, do you have anything else you want to talk about before we start getting these outros going?
There was a little game that they called Under the Waves. I wrote it down as like an ocean exploring type game. I thought it looks good.
Weird, right? Okay, that could be interesting.
I like underwater games. You know, in the real world, if I have a phobia at all, it's likely open ocean. It just makes me feel almost sick to my stomach watching open ocean, under ocean stuff. But I love watching it because it's safe at home in my living room. And I love video games where I'm under the ocean and exploring and doing stuff because it just takes me a little bit out of my comfort zone. But again, I'm playing a video game. I don't need them to install some afraid of the ocean mode so the ocean's gone.
It turns into fucking Jello.
Well, man, we're seeing a lot of like, well, we can't have arachnophobia. You know, that's the worst of all phobias in all the world is having a spider in your video games. We need arachnophobia mode. Look, I'm saying I like under the water games specifically because in the real world, that kind of stuff makes me uncomfortable. And playing a video game puts me in a safe space that I'm allowed to challenge this kind of stuff, feel uncomfortable while having guaranteed fun along the way. Like, I don't understand the mentality of take my phobias out of my games crap. But nah, I thought that game looked cool. I like Under the Ocean stuff. Yeah, that looked pretty neat. And then there was another game, Star Trek Infinite.
There you go. I was wondering. There was one.
Like all it kind of was looked like a cinematic, big time tease.
And that was
it looked like it was in the Star Trek Next Generation, timeline. That was the Enterprise D.
Oh, Shady! It's a strategy game.
Yeah, that one's.
So I thought it was kind of going to be
a new. It says they call it a new grand strategy game. The game is in development at Quantum League maker Nimble Giant Entertainment. Little was known in the trailer beyond a Federation fleet approaching the Borg, along with images of stuff. A full reveal is coming. Full reveal is coming in a week. June 16th.
Yeah, June 16th, which is Captain Picard Day for all the true fans of Star Trek. Captain Picard Day, that's when you can tune in to find out more about this video game, not at a video game showcase. Weird. But yeah, I thought it was going to be a strat game. It doesn't surprise me. But I am interested. I love Star Trek, especially that time period of Star Trek. The Next Gen, Deep Space Nine, Voyager era. I love that stuff. So
hell yeah.
Hope it's good. I want to see more. I'll be tuning in on Picard Day.
Nice.
We had some other smaller announcements as well. There was I don't know if you saw the Pal World thing, which is
Pokemon with Gatling guns. I did see that.
Yeah. I saw that.
For a preview, I believe in January, if I'm not mistaken. It looked okay. If people are into the Pocket Monster type craze, this is something different but similar. So maybe it can find some success. Pokemon is ginormous.
Yeah. Yeah. Then there was Yes Your Grace, which is a Your Grace sequel, Witchfire, which it could be interesting, I guess.
Yeah,
Witchfire I thought looked pretty good actually. That was that first person, almost looked like you were like a vampire hunter kind of guy.
Yeah,
shooting like stake guns and stuff. Like, I thought that looked really cool actually. I hope it delivers something special.
Yeah.
Then we had the Marvel Snap new stuff.
That guy was insane.
That guy was very energetic.
That man was coked out and he scared Jeff Keighley. Look at Jeff Keighley's body language. He was all pulled in, his arms all close to his chest. He was terrified that man was going to reach out and bite his head off. He was very excited about Marvel Snap.
That dude is freaking hilarious. Every Marvel Snap advertisement when I used to have regular YouTube, he is just like, I am so excited for you to see what we have. I was like, dude, this guy is in it, and he's always the one doing it. And he's like, he's the advertiser, the developer. He's in it, man. Like, he actually legitimately loves his game, and I'll give him credit to that, dude.
Not just the game. I'm telling you, right? That guy was hyped, bro.
He was very hyped.
Yep.
So
I'm into Marvel Snap, so it did nothing for me.
Yeah. So yeah, I think that's pretty much everything. I'm scrolling through.
I didn't come in expecting a 10 out of 10 show at all for the stuff that I wanted to see. I knew what this was. We have an Xbox show. We have a Ubisoft show. We have a Capcom show. I think EA is maybe doing one as well somewhere. I'm not too sure about EA.
They are, but Devolver has one.
Names. Like, they've got their own stuff now, so I wouldn't expect them to show up here. The Summer Games Fest is not on the same level as the Game Awards. Not even close. Well, we're talking single-digit percentage here in comparison for live viewers. Game Awards does like 100 million live plus around the world.
It's insane.
This is doing like anywhere from 1 to 2 million live at best with everything. So they don't compare in any way. And I think that it was a fun show. Midsummer had a live crowd. I respect that, especially the last couple of years. That's rare, man. And it was it was a good afternoon of games to look forward to.
have a chance to watch the Devolver one?
Oh my god,
We did,
dude.
yes.
We were. I literally, me and him were laughing. What's the freaking thing's name?
It's Volvi.
Volvi,
Was it
dude.
Volvi?
Yeah, Volvi.
Oh man, don't spoil it.
Oh, okay. We won't say anything then.
Bro.
Okay, you need to watch it.
They've been teasing it for weeks on Twitter. They're with this Volvi mascot, pretending like it's
Don't-
basically
shh.
Mickey Mouse. And
Let him.
Oh, he's not on Twitter.
No,
I forgot
he
how
wants
he's
to
not
watch
even
it.
on the marketing. I know. I wasn't going to tell him about the show. It's just they've been building up to the show for a few weeks on Twitter with their own ad campaign going, as if they've got people coming out of the woodwork hyped as shit for this Volvi character, and they're pulling out stuffed animals they've had since the 1980s. And none of it's real, of course. This is a made-up thing, but they're pretending that Volvi is like the Mickey Mouse, and everyone like has nostalgia for it, and they just go hard, and it was really good. You guys,
everybody in chat, literally, you need to watch the Devolver Digital Showcase.
Yeah, Devolver.
show every year,
dude.
Not for the games that they show, but just for the presentation. Devolver gives two fucks. They make fun of the entire industry. They make fun of other showcases. They make fun of themselves. It is obscene. It's short and sweet, and I get a good laugh out of just their PR is brilliant. I love what they do. And
The
they
best thing
release
is
great
that like
games,
even
man.
their executives are a part of this. It's just freaking hilarious. So yeah, I think we won't talk about it. Hargeet, you need to watch it. People in chat, if you haven't watched it, the Devolver Digital show is freaking pure gold comedy. So yeah.
There was that were at the show. There was the time shift game, where you kind of like go down a path and then shift backwards, go down another path, shift backwards, and it does all of them at the same time. That looked kind of interesting. I don't know how well that's going to work, but that was another one that was kind of an
Oh,
interesting.
that was the Lisfanga, right? Lisfanga Time Shift Warrior. It kind of looked a little bit like Hades, a Hades type game. You know, from the perspective to it, I do think that because of the time shifting element, it's going to be a roguelite. I could be mistaken there, but it looks that type to me. I hope it's good. You know, Hades was incredible. So if they can catch just even, half of the specialness that Hades had, it'd be a fun game.
Yeah.
And then we had a Fae Farm or something coming to other platforms. Was it? I don't know if it's totally like if it's not out at all, but
that did look a little bit more like a gardening game, isn't it? Similar to you kind of go out and make your world, get your little barn going, you get your little crops going, your animals come in, one of those.
Yeah, that's exactly what it is.
Yeah, and then there was like Honkai Star Rail or something like that. I think it was expanding to another platform or something like that.
It's coming to PlayStation 5 only. It's been on PC for a few months, and that is from the guys that did Genshin Impact. This is their sci-fi kind of version of it. They're not identical game style, but they're similar. I got a buddy that plays it, and he says it's decent.
Yeah.
But it's coming to PlayStation. There was one game at Devolver, just a game. I want to say what it's called. It's called Baby Steps, and it looks hilarious.
It looks so bad.
Those games that's just so awkward to play that you watch your favorite streamer play that and just rage, and you laugh along with them, kind of deal. I think it looks great. That's a PC, PS5 exclusive. The bastards! They sold out to the wrong side. We got nothing over here on Xbox. No Baby Steps. I'm pissed. That looked pretty good. I thought it was funny.
I thought it looked. It looked hilarious too. Yeah, you'll see what we're talking about, Hargeet. It's just a weird derpy game. It just looks kind of outlandish. But yeah, thanks everybody for showing up. Look at everybody. We got Safa, we got Mr. Boshida. What's just happened? We got everybody. Thank you so much for showing up. We're gonna start getting these outros on, and you know what? I'm gonna start off with you, Shady. Where can people find you, man? And how did you enjoy the show and all that stuff?
All I know is that if you're going to become true dodgeballers, then you've got to learn the 5 Ds of dodgeball. Dodge, duck, dip, dive, and dodge. But, I mean, you can find me here on this show, on your channel, Zalker87 channel, on YouTube, each and every Thursday.
Hell yeah.
The Zealots of Gaming. We're bringing it every week. It's a new show. This is our 3rd episode. Thank you, everyone, for coming out. Love how you come out here and spend your time with us. It's great, man. It makes me feel good, and it makes coming onto the show each week easy to do. You can also find me on Twitter at @TheSeshEmpire. I'm throwing around the idea of whipping up something new. Don't know yet, but that is also where you can find me. So, thanks again for everyone coming out. See you all maybe this Sunday if we can get it to work right
Hopefully.
after that Xbox show. If not, I hope you all have a hell of a weekend. Enjoy the Xbox show. Enjoy the Ubi show the day after. Enjoy the Capcom show the day after that. Like, this is it, man. This is our holiday of for gamers, man. This is where we see it all. And the good
Christmas
stuff, I think, is yet to come. Super hyped. Thanks again. See you later.
Thanks, buddy. And I'm going to Hargeet, how about yourself, man? What do you got planned for the night? How excited are you for this weekend? And where can people find you? That's not Twitter, lol.
My gamer tag is Chani on Xbox, and on Discord it's Chani as well with number 3935 if you want to catch up over there. And then I mean, this is, as Shady put it, this is the week we just get all these showcases, right? So I'm gonna see if we can get into play days. And then we're already registered for FanFest, so Sunday we'll be going to that, watching that with all the Xbox folks, and see where that goes. I did finally get to meet up with a whole bunch of people, including like Paris, and too bad Gaz wasn't here to have his brawl with Paris, but whatever. Gaz,
yeah, it would have been nice to see two men wrestling. Yeah.
But yeah, it's been great. We met with a whole bunch of people here, so it was pretty cool. I think a couple of people are coming in, over the next day or two for the Xbox side of it. So we'll catch up with them, including Jazz. He should be here today or tomorrow. So we'll catch up with him as well.
Nice.
But yeah, so there's gonna be a whole bunch of that community stuff, and that's what we're gonna be doing over the next few days, just hanging out with the community, see what we can do with play days and other things, and then Xbox, and hopefully that showcase is good. And and then we'll go from there.
Nice. Thanks, brother. I'm glad you came in. It's awesome that you dropped in. I'll tell you, man, I was doing the phone call. You were calling me. I was freaking hilarious. I'm just glad that you dropped in right on time. It was perfect timing. And look at you in the hotel room having a good time. And tell everybody we say hi. Hopefully, I want to try to go there next year. This year, even if I did book it, I would not be able to come. Like, let's say I was like, I got it because of what happened with family stuff. So I'm, shit happens for a reason, right? So it's cool. Hopefully, I can meet you sometime there, but you guys can find me at Zalker87 on Twitter, Zalker87 on here, and of course at the Zealots of Gaming every Thursday here at 5 p.m. I'm trying to get this stuff, the audio, to put on Spotify and all the other things for just audio purposes, so we can kind of expand where we are and all that. So stay tuned for that. The production quality, again, man, I got to give it a shout out to Sean Labrie. He's helped to make all the stuff on here for Zealots of Gaming. He's been awesome and just a really cool dude. So yeah, that's awesome. And I've been just playing a lot of Diablo 4, and I'm going to go right back to playing that all fucking night and weekend. So I can't wait. And then of course Sunday is the big day, the Xbox showcase. I really want to go live, and I hope I do. I hope we get the time to do that, Shady, and then we can just like scream, and then hopefully we see freaking pearly white smile face over here in the crowd during the Xbox showcase, because he's gonna be smiling. If he's smiling during the Summer Game Fest,
unfortunately it's not live. It's not live, which sucks,
no,
right?
I know it's not, but it's all good.
We'll take selfies, but it's unfortunately
it's all good. But yeah, so thank you everybody in the chat. Honestly, Lethal, you are the man, bro. I really appreciate you doing everything you do with the mods and everything. In the chat, you guys kept it really cool, just talked about games, and that's awesome. There wasn't too much zealotry. I think more me because of Blizzard and Diablo, but we'll see you guys all hopefully Sunday. If not, then next Thursday for sure. And Hargeet will be there with us the entire time. All right, everybody. You guys get out of here. Go play some video games. Look at that.